Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. We are going to start things off by doing some fishing. It's like Groundhog's Day to yesterday. Yep. We are going to run right out to the lake and do a little bit of fishing. Now that we're level 10, we can actually train the next rank of fishing, so that's good. I did train the warrior skills. We needed Ren to rank 2, and then we also trained Bloodlust. Blood Rage. I'm sorry about that. There we go, Blood Rage, which is in the defensive tree, which is interesting. Keope Max. Good morning, guys. Auntie, good morning. I started the stream right when you finished working, Auntie. Where was I a few hours ago? I was asleep. Yeah. A few hours ago, I was asleep. And I actually woke up at 8:30 today. Which is early for me in the summer, so. David, Christopher, good morning. Herculos, what's up with you? Yeah, I'm probably not going to use Blood Rage a lot. I really don't like that, especially in hardcore. I don't like that we lose HP. I don't really want to give up HP for Rage, unless we're feeling particularly strong against whatever it is we're fighting. Carrie, good morning. Thanks for being here. Bushman, we'll be getting on the Paladin later today. Yeah, we are gonna get on the Paladin for a bit today, but I'm gonna start things off on the Warrior. But I do want to find like a nice grind spot on the Pally and eat through some of his rested XP today. Oh, he didn't die. He's still alive. He's getting rested XP. Sorry. I'm gonna put a pinned comment up. If I can do that. Basically, like as long as the Paladin is in the title of the episode, the title will list, like the way I'm doing it now, the title will list the current living hardcore characters. So if he's in the title, he's alive. But I will pin a comment here. Mr. Chewy, it's your birthday, man. Happy birthday to you. 25. Enjoy it. Enjoy life while you're 25, man. That's awesome. Alright, let me do the comment. Pally is still alive and well. There we go.
What's on your mind? See you soon. What can I get for you today? Safe travels.
Is Arms Warrior better than Fury? A lot of people would probably tell you that Fury ultimately deals more damage if you're talking about like endgame stuff. I prefer Arms, especially while leveling. Especially in hardcore solo self-found, because it's going to be ultimately easier to find one good weapon than it's ever going to be to find two good weapons. And a warrior is going to be very weapon reliant regardless of whether they're Arms or Fury. Miles, good morning, man. Thanks for being here. MOB, hardcore official servers are not out. This is Bloodsail Buccaneers. You know, I should probably put that in the title of the stream. Let me put that. You know, not everyone will see it, but at least that way it's in the title of the stream. If I have the character space to fit it in. I don't. I don't have character space because of YouTube being stupid. I could put it in the description, but that's not going to help a lot of people. So, yeah. Do I ever get people trying to sell their commission/channel artwork for my stream? No. Dirty, I don't. One day I'm going to need an artist to make like some emotes. I think I have to hit 30,000 subs though before I can even have custom emotes. I'm pretty sure that's what I read. And at the rate that I get new subscriptions to the channel, I'll have 30,000 subs in like 3 years from now. So, but in 3 years from now, I'll need an artist to make some cool emotes that are like specific probably to some of the stupid stuff I do. Like I need a bags are full emote I need a coffee refill emote. I need a Robert is eating emote for when I black out the camera and chow on some food. Like, I have lots of ideas for emotes, but yeah, I'm not an artist. I don't have any friends, so I don't know any artists. And I'm pretty sure I have to be at 30,000 subs before YouTube will let me even create custom emotes. The elevator emote, yeah, elevator boss emote, definitely. Like, yeah, I have a list of ones that I'd like to have eventually, but I don't have the skill myself, and I don't know any humans out in the real world, so yeah, it's a future thing though. Might have to visit an herbalism trainer soon. I didn't realize we were getting so close to capping out herbalism. Bushman, in hardcore, hamstring is incredibly useful because, you know, it basically is going to allow you to stop from pulling ads. Like, when an enemy runs, there's a good chance that an enemy runs right up to another group and pulls a bunch of ads. So in hardcore, hamstring's super useful in classic era. It's a hamstring is an ability that you probably would never use in retail. You'd probably never even leave it on your bar. But in classic era, especially in hardcore, like, I'm gonna use hamstring all the time. Anytime that I know an enemy can run, I'm gonna want to hit them with hamstring before they reach their run percentage. Nathan, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I could probably have friends in real life if I wanted to put forth the effort, but like, I don't know why. I have a lot of stuff that I like to do in my day, and it's like, unless you're doing the same stuff that I'm doing in my day, then I don't have a lot of time to, like, be someone's friend, basically. That's kind of what happens when you're old and you have hobbies and family and other stuff you want to do. It's like, I don't have a lot of time just to, like, hang out. I'm hanging out with you guys. That's what I want to do. So... Dirty only artists come in and try to, like, solicit to you? Well, that's kind of sad. No one comes and tries to solicit their art to me. I get emails for people that want me to play, like, games that I would never play. They're like, hey, you should play this game and do a sponsored stream, blah blah blah, and I'm like, nah. What was the one I got? I got Hero... Oh, it wasn't Hero Academy 101. I forget what it was called. Something like that, and then, Raid Shadow Legends or some shit. I'm not sure what it was. I get emails from people, like, PR companies, not even from, like, the game companies themselves, but from, like, their little PR studios that they farm out PR work to. And they email me all the time, come try Raid Shadow Legends, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no. You probably could not pay me enough money to play Raid Shadow Legends on my channel. No, I don't think there's a price tag for that. I'm waiting for the day that someone wants me to do a sponsored game of a game that I actually want to play, you know? If it's a game that I wanted to play anyway, then absolutely I would do it. But when it's like random garbage, I have no interest. Paul, good morning, man. Thanks for being here. It's probably not morning for you, though. It's probably like afternoon or evening if I had to guess. Bushman, I'm well familiar with Dark Souls. And Elden Ring. But I haven't done an Elden Ring playthrough on this channel. My big dog is just upstairs. He's so angry because my wife is out of the house with our son. And I am down here and he's stuck up there. And he's just like finding anything outside to bark at. Because he thinks if he does it enough, like, I'll come up there. But what he doesn't realize is that I'm going to ignore the crap out of him. It's going to be a really sad day for him. I took him outside for like 30 minutes to try to get some energy out of him, but he's just a big jerk. Paul, 4:30 in the afternoon. I was close. I'm getting better at, like, guessing what time it might be in other parts of the country. I don't have my world clocks yet. Eventually I want to have, like, world clocks up on the wall in front of me. Yeah, Bushman, I think you're right. Like, it's a game that I've heard a lot about. So, like, for people who like that kind of game, it's probably good. I just don't know why, like, an advertiser would look at my channel and they'd be like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna play some Raid Shadow Legends. I think they look at like medium-sized channels, and they think this person's probably desperate for any money they can get. That's what I think they think. You know, they see a channel like mine that's like stuck at 25,000 subs, and you know, isn't really growing, hasn't really grown, but is like a small, medium-sized channel. And I think they assume that those kinds of creators are very willing to like sell themselves out for any kind of money, and I'm just not like that. So. I don't even, yeah, Nathan, I'm not even sure. I've never played the game. It's some kind of hero shooter or like hero battle game or something. Is it a mobile game? It sounds like a mobile game even. They make a character that has huge Badalkadoks, they assume people will play. Yeah, Bushman, I think a lot of people do. They're probably not like totally wrong, you know. It's just that they're barking up the wrong tree with me. If it was also a good game, that's a good combination. If the game is also amazing and in a genre that I like to play. Which retail expansion did I enjoy the most, and which made me give up on retail? Side away. That's a really good question because the answer is really funny. The modern retail expansion I liked the most was Legion. The expansion that made me stop actively playing retail was Legion. And so Legion had a couple of great things. It had the class order hall stories, it had the artifact weapons, it had Illidan, it had Khadgar and Illidan. Like, yeah, let me have more Khadgar and Illidan, please. And so it was great. The story was great. It felt like Warcraft, but it introduced the infinite AP grind. And the infinite AP grind, by the time we got to Battle for Azeroth, I had to basically stop playing the game. I had to stop raiding. I couldn't farm my AP enough to like feel like I was being useful to my raid team, because I often had to travel around the country for work. I didn't have time every day to play. So yeah, Legion was my favorite expansion currently, like retail-wise, and the one that kind of killed the game for me. It's kind of funny like that. What's my opinion on Varian's Sacrifice? Wasted. What about Tyrion Forging? Fucking wasted. So yeah, as it had like some good story beats, but yeah, like some of the stuff they did, like Varian getting killed was like very cringe, but okay. Like I got through it. Like, you know, Tyrion had got melted. It was bad. Like losing Tyrion and Varian felt super wasteful as far as like what you do with your well-developed characters. I think Tyrion got the worst of it. When he just got like fucking melted. Did he go out, did Tyrion go out in Draenor or did he go out in Legion? I can't even remember. It was bad. Both him and Varian were done wrong. David, you never seen any Legion content? Man, the Legion is really good. The zones were also really amazing. It could be worth it for you to do like a Legion time walking. Tyrion was awesome, and Tyrion was one of like their most longest developed characters. Like, and then just to melt him, not even in a cinematic, not even in like an in-game cutscene, but just to have him die in a stupid event against a dumb imp spawn lady, like it was really stupid. Like, yeah, Varian at least killed a bunch of stuff before he went out, but it was like, why? Why? I don't want to see the kind of cinematic that kills the main character happen at like the beginning of an expansion. Like, I want to play with them and hang out with them and build towards that. And then I want to be a part of the event where they sacrifice themselves. I don't want to be like, my character doesn't even exist at that point. It's just Varian being a badass. He doesn't even know who I am. Like, I want to build up to that moment, and I want to be around for it. I'm going to care about it more if he, like, interacted with me some before that happened. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Legion was the last expansion that really felt like truly Warcraft. You'd think BFA would have felt Warcraft, but because of all the weird stuff they did, especially in the third act, like, it just wasn't. All the weird stuff they did with Sylvanas and everything. Lael, you're not an Anduin fan, obviously. It's okay. Anduin's back in Azeroth, I think, but he's like, no one knows where he's at or what he's doing. I'm kind of thinking that we probably won't see Anduin back on the throne. I think we're gonna see Anduin again, but I don't think we're gonna. He's not just gonna come back and like take up the throne again and start ruling Stormwind again. It's not gonna happen like that. If it does happen like that, then they're incredibly lazy and it will be a stupid plot beat. The only good thing about BFA was Saurfang. Yes, absolutely. The only good thing about BFA was the Saurfang cinematics. Yep. That was it. That was the only good that they produced. So, like, they had some fucking amazing cinematic storytelling just centered around Saurfang, and that was it. Anduin's still in the mall. I thought Anduin was out, like, skulking about. I thought people had, like, seen him. Like plot characters knew that he was, like, back in Azeroth somewhere. Maybe not. Blizz? Lazy? No. No. And hello, Whitney. Good morning. Kevin, good morning, man. Yeah, sometimes I start early. If I wake up early enough, and if, like, the stars kind of align, and my dogs aren't being too needy, and my son isn't being too needy, then I can start a little earlier. Yeah, we're hoping that they remake the old world for the next expansion, but I'm kind of thinking they're going to do a pirate-themed expansion. And take us, they're going to take us to the backside of Azeroth or something. And we're gonna get there on pirate ships, because the world needs more pirate crap. Evandro, good morning, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Bushman, I think a lot of people hate Shadowlands. Shadowlands had some good things about it. The artists are always good. The artists who work on World of Warcraft, like, they do a good job no matter what's going on with the game, no matter where the story's at, no matter what's happening with the lore, no matter what's happening internally. The artists are just great people who do great work, you know. I think they have most of the soul in the game is because of the artist. It's not because of the story writers. It's not because of the game designers. So, like, the soul that does still exist in the game is due to the artist. Absolutely. And yeah, the way they turned Arthas into a little blue ball. What a stupid way to end it. You know, in Shadowlands, we were kind of hoping that they would find a way to bring Arthas back and do, like, a good story with him in the Shadowlands. But they were like, nah, we'd have to have good writers to handle him properly. They knew that if they brought Arthas back, they would botch it. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, they know the skill level of their people. And they know they don't have any good story writers. And they know they don't have any good dialogue writers. So they were like, nah, let's just turn Arthas into a blue ball and do away with it. Kirub, why am I fishing? I'm working on professions. I try to do this at the start of the stream to let people see that the stream is live and like work their way in. But ultimately, I'm doing professions to level them up. I'm doing fishing so that I can level up cooking. So we're gonna fish all this stuff up and then I can cook some fish. Like. But it's really just something for me to do for the character while I let people see that the stream is going, and I can chat with you guys for a bit without accidentally getting myself killed. That's why we're doing this. They brought Illidan back in Legion. I thought Illidan's return story was really good. They didn't bring him back as a blue nebulous ball. Now will they bring Illidan back again? Because Illidan's flying around out there in space with the Titans. And I think that, like, someone like Illidan, once he learns about, like, what the Titans really are, and the things they really did, and what their true nature is, he's probably not going to be, like, down with any of that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised to find a ship with Illidan on it and a bunch of dead Titans. That's kind of how I feel. Have I lost a character yet due to being distracted by chat? Nah, chat has saved me many times. I've been much more attentive with hardcore since I've been streaming it and not doing pre-recorded stuff. Prior to streaming, my highest level character was 26. I just kept getting them killed. And then I started streaming with the Paladin, and the Paladin's level 46 and he's still going. So yeah. He'll be on a pirate ship full of dead Titans, yes. He'll return to Azeroth on a pirate ship with all the dead Titans on it. Because he'll come back and be like, hey, you guys probably found this out, but the Titans are dicks. And by then we'll be like, yeah, we know. And then he'll be like, but there's worse stuff out here. And look, Medivh's with me for some reason. That's all going to happen eventually. Bushman, you think Void Lords? You know, the thing about it is this. Like, with the way that Blizz does content now, like, you can have a big theme like Void Lords or a big theme like the Emerald Dream. And it can be patch content now. So, like, will they do the Cosmic Void? Yeah, they'll do the Cosmic Void again. They've been alluding to that, but I don't think it's going to be an expansion. I think it's going to be a patch within an expansion. Just like how we're going to get the Emerald Dream stuff in 10.2. So a lot of people used to think we were going to get an Emerald Dream expansion someday. But we're not. We're not getting an Emerald Dream expansion. We're getting an Emerald Dream patch. And I think the Cosmic Void Lord stuff is going to be handled the same way. I think it's going to be a patch in an expansion. But I don't think it's going to be the basis of an entire expansion. I think that that 11.0 will probably get a little bit of a world revamp. Maybe we'll get some pirate ships. Maybe we'll have a patch about Cosmic Void, and maybe we'll have a patch about how evil the light really is. But at some point we also have to have a patch about where the hell the Titans are at. Sargeras Prime versus Jailer Prime. I don't know. I mean, the Jailer was a joke cartoon villain, so I don't really know a lot about his capabilities. My bet's on Sargeras. Are the Void Lords the biggest threat to existence? I don't know. They haven't told us. I think that the light is an equal threat, because the light wants to make all things uniform. The light wants to bathe everything in light and make everything the same. Order is kind of the same way. Like, there comes a point when, like, you infuse enough order into a system, and when there's no chaos, there can't be life. Like, part of what allows for life is that, like, life is chaos bound by order. But once you, like, fill something completely with order to the point where there's no chaos, you can't have anything alive. And I think all the forces are kind of like that. I think that ultimately, like, any force on its own is bad for life. Because any force, like, on its own completely consuming everything is going to destroy life. Well, to be fair, when FF did their reset, it was because they had basically a broken game. They had just a broken game, and they were like they had to do Realm Reborn because they had to make a game that was playable. So I don't think it's like the same situation. Although, yeah, Final Fantasy now supposedly in their next expansion they're supposed to step into a new story. What that really is going to entail, like we don't know what that's going to entail. In the game, it's still going to entail that you still have to play 350 hours of the existing MSQ. So until Final Fantasy ditches the entire MSQ and lets me actually have a fresh start, then they haven't done a fresh start. They're not doing a fresh story if I have to play through the other 300 hours of MSQ to get to it. You know what I mean? Chris, it's time for WoW 2. Yeah, we're never gonna have a WoW. We're never gonna have a WoW 2. Look, retail is WoW 2 already. If you look at how WoW has changed over time, like retail is WoW 2. Like, it's not this. You know, retail WoW is not what WoW used to be. It looks different. It plays different. It feels different. It has different audiences. Like, it has different themes and different methods of storytelling. Like, we're playing the closest in retail. You're playing the closest thing to WoW 2 that you're probably ever gonna get. You might get world revamps, like, yeah, they might remake the old world again, that'll, like, liven things up. You'll get constant graphical updates stacked on top of their ancient engine. But what you're not gonna get is, they're never gonna be like, now announcing World of Warcraft Part 2. Apart from Legion, probably BC. Probably Burning Crusade, only because I'm nostalgic for BC, because they cut BC so short when they did Classic BC. It didn't have enough time to breathe, and now it's like the expansion that I'll always want more time in that we'll never get. But yo, nothing happened to the Pally, man. He's still alive. I got a pin comment up top that it's hard to see, but he's alive and getting rested XP. All right, let's see. Yeah, we fished quite a bit. Maybe we'll cook these fish and then we'll start doing some actual questing. It's okay, man. Like, a lot of people don't see it. It's not in a good place because like when you come into a chat, you're not looking up at the top. You're looking down where you're about to type. So if YouTube really wanted people to see pinned comments, they'd make them hang out down by the text box for a second, and then you'd see them down there before you type, and then it could float to the top. But they don't handle their pinned comments right in the chat. So it's absolutely really easy to miss it. Pretty sure there's a fire over here where we can cook. Nathan, rested XP gives you 200% experience from kills. So yeah, as long as we have this rested that we're working through, every time we kill an enemy, we're getting double the amount of experience from that enemy kill. Which is really important because in Classic Era, most of your experience comes from kills, not quests. The quests are just a mechanism to get you to places where you're killing the right shit. But the majority of your experience is going to come from kills. I got a two-handed practice sword. I don't know when we picked that up, but we're definitely keeping it because we need to level that up. So we will be working on that on some low-level guys. Anything I want to sell?
Off with you.
Yeah, rested XP, not to be confused for the rested XP add-on. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely a different thing. Paul, it's going well this morning. Thank you for being here, man. If Illidan had been around, he never would have let the tree burn. Nah, he'd have killed everybody. That's why he wasn't around. Yeah, that's when Malfurion's always sleepy. You know, he's always sleepy. I guess when you're 10,000 years old, you probably get sleepy all the time. You know what I mean? Malfurion is the worst used Warcraft character in existence. Malfurion is the worst Warcraft. Let me just say he's the worst Warcraft character in existence, and it's because in WoW, like nothing good was ever done with Malfurion. I don't know what they have against him. It's like he always seems kind of whiny and like weak and unwilling to really do anything. Like they've never really had him do any cool things that have worked out. Yeah, and he's either always sleeping or too lazy to like leave the Shadowlands. He's like, ah, Tyrande, I'll stay in your place. I really am tired anyway. Just let me stay, Tyrande. It's fine. I don't want to do anything anyway. So yeah, it's like, what a waste. What a waste. Malfurion. Yeah, exactly, Paul. He's been written for a character that should have been really important and could have played a big role in a lot of different events. It's like they just never wanted to use him. Maybe they did not know how to write him. I mean, the WoW writers aren't good, so I can understand why they are hesitant to take on like more characters, right? Especially Warcraft characters that people have attachment from a different era of the game where they were not writing the story. I can see how they wouldn't want to touch these characters, but when they do touch them, they just do really stupid stuff with them, which is kind of annoying. Alright, I don't need so many stacks.
Be good.
Garrosh and Arthas are the best written characters. Yeah, I mean, the stuff that happened with Garrosh was just kind of, it was all Thrall's fault, which makes it kind of stupid. No, it's stupid in the sense that, like, none of it was necessary. Like, none of that had to happen to Garrosh. In a real world with real characters who had real thoughts, someone would have been like, hey, Garrosh, he's kind of unstable. Second thing, Thrall, Garrosh has told you over and over and over and over that he does not want and does not feel like he is a good leader. And Thrall's just like, he'll do great. I gotta go do this shaman thing. I'm losing a bunch of weight. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be in Nagrand. You guys let me know how it goes. So yeah, it was bad. The Garrosh story turns out to be bad only because, like, no actual leader in Thrall's position would ever have actually left Garrosh in charge of an entire faction. It just doesn't. It bent my disbelief. Like, I couldn't suspend disbelief enough to believe that an actual leader who had created the Horde, who had founded the Horde, who had led the Horde, would hand the Horde over to a dude who is literally telling him, I can't do this. I don't want to do this, and I can't do it. You have the wrong orc. If someone tells you that you got the wrong orc, you got the wrong orc, find another orc. It's simple. It'd be like if your boss went to give you a promotion at work and you were like, listen, I'm not qualified. I can't do the job. I don't have the skills. I'm not ready for it. They wouldn't promote you. They'd be like, oh, okay, well, let's talk about some professional development opportunities. You know? Thrall needed to talk to Garrosh about some professional advancement opportunities that was not just jumping into leadership of the Horde. Oh, a green sword. I like a green sword. Okay, 4 agility. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's equip that, and we gotta go find something low level to kind of swing at, though. I don't think we want to swing at these guys. Let's go try to find something else. Thrall was another waste. Thrall ended for me in that same scenario when he handed the Horde over to Garrosh against Garrosh's own protestations. Like, I was like, oh, okay, Thrall's a dead character now. Like, I don't care. I have no investment in a character that would do something so stupid and would be written so poorly. Yeah, it kind of sucks because, like, every step you get away from Warcraft 3, the story and characters get worse. It's like, you know, the world is amazing. I love World of Warcraft. I love getting immersed in the zones and in, like, the stories that happen in the zones, but when it comes to the big A-plots, when it comes to, like, the major characters of the game, none of them are good, you know. None of them are really handled well. Their stories are not fulfilling. The places they end up are not places you would have wanted to have seen them go. Like, there's no real fulfilling character arcs in World of Warcraft. Name me one really fulfilling character arc where you got to see the beginning, the middle, and end of a character, and the journey made sense, and it was all good stuff. I can't think of anybody. They get close with some stories, and they like Tyrande, the Night Warrior story, that they were working on it, and then it's like they just got really lazy with it and ditched it. They're like, oh, the power has fled you, now we will just cleanse you of it. Let's see the jailer. We're not even thinking about the jailer. Yeah, well, the way they killed Vol'jin, yeah, just a random demon stabbing him in the chest. That's Deus Ex Machina. Like, that had to happen so that he could hand leadership of the Horde over to Sylvanas. Like, it just was something they had to put it in there. That's how it had to happen. It's a bad story when you write in events because it has to happen for something later to make sense. Like, that's not really great storytelling, especially the way they rush stuff. Yeah, they've wasted all their big characters. The characters I like most in retail WoW are like the characters who we've never seen before. Like, the random made-up characters are much better than handling any of the lore characters from, like, the previous games. What is our sword skill level? It can't be very good. It's not very good. Yeah, I'm going to grind on these guys for a bit. We're going to get the sword skill up, and then we're going to go into Frostmane Hold. Actually, we have Frostmane Hold, and then I thought we had the Warrior Quest over here, too. Warrior Quest. Speak with Murin Stormpike. Oh, we have to go to Ironforge first to get the Warrior Quest. Okay, yeah, I didn't do that part of it. There's a grief for killing NPCs in Goldshire. Awesome. What a good way to start the day. Good morning, Bloodmoon. Thanks for being here. Urel had a good storyline. Urel was rushed because they cut an entire patch out of Warlords. They cut out an entire patch, and they probably killed future storylines, because Urel could have had a storyline where she, like, leads a faction of the light that is not good for life. Like, she could have had, like, kind of a villain arc, almost, eventually. But since they, like, and then they drop those characters, and you never ever see them again. Like, what's Urel doing in Alternate Draenor right now? Like, we don't know, nobody cares. Onyxia was a well-written villain. Yeah, but, like, the storytelling was so different, you know what I mean? The way the story was unfolded and the way you found things out was a lot different than, like, currently in retail, you know? Basically, like, WoW's biggest problem with every single one of its character arcs is that it's all too rushed. It's all too rushed so they can get on to the next big moment, the next big thing, the next expansion, the next patch. Like, it's all so rushed because they feel like every single patch has to be different. Every single patch has to handle a different story. Every single expansion has to handle an entirely different story. Like, there's not enough continuity for any of the story arcs for the characters to be meaningful or to even really make sense. Because everything just gets rushed. Yeah, they can't craft a long and satisfying story because of how they designed the game. Keep in mind, a lot of the time, they are working on 2 expansions at once. And then they, at some point in development, they decide what expansion is going to come out first. Doing content that way, it's absolutely impossible to tell a continuous story about characters or a world. You're just telling little stories that don't have any payoff. Because, yeah, they designed the game in a way that they can kind of pick and choose, like, oh, what expansion are we doing next? Is it the pirate expansion or is it the dragon expansion? Oh, I'll do the dragon expansion this time. We'll do the pirate expansion next time. Dragons are a little bit further along than the pirate stuff, and so that's how they decide what expansion to do next. You know, they're working on multiple, but then they pick one. Bushman, thanks for stopping by, man. Have a good night. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, Paul, I did unlock the Magheart orcs. I just don't remember. Yeah, we went to Alternate Draenor. We saw Urel with like an army or something, and like the army of light was coming, and then we escaped. I don't remember. It was a long time ago that I unlocked them, but yeah, I think I do remember kind of seeing a glimpse of her in like the army of the light or whatever it was. Yeah, there just might not be a way anymore for them to tell like a really compelling story that lasts long over time. I think the most you could be happy with is if they manage to have good storytelling within an expansion. That's really all you can get. You can't really expect stuff to be like continuous throughout multiple expansions. Because they don't even like to keep characters around through multiple expansions. They like to give them a rest. Okay, let's go. I think we're good. Let's go into the hold and we'll fight our way in. For the pirate expansion, you'll have to grind parrot food to upgrade your item level. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. You'll have an eye patch of Azeroth. You'll have to farm points for that too. Animal parrot. I like the eye patch being the new AP. But yeah, and animal parrot though is good too. Yeah, they could if they wanted to, Kevin, but they'd have to plan it that way. And their mind new is always better, so they don't even believe that like their player base cares or can absorb a long form story. That's their excuse for not crafting long form stories. Is that they tell themselves that the players don't want it, or that, you know, it's not good for the game, or whatever they tell themselves. Farming lemons to abate scurvy. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds fun, actually. Alright, we need a big crit here. Just a big old crit. Where's it at? That's not it. And we don't have a lot going on in Elwyn right now either. Yeah, a good story costs money because you have to pay actual writers. You have to pay an actual team of actual story writers and dialogue writers. And they don't like Blizzard has writers who they call upon to write their fan fiction novels. Like Christie Golden and those people. And they're pretty good, you know? They're not Brandon fucking Sanderson, you know what I mean? But they're pretty good at writing fan fiction. But they don't have those people do writing for the video games. They only have them involved in writing the novels. It's like, so you have some real writers, but they're not really on your payroll. You pay them by commission based on when you want them to write a book. Because it's cheaper that way than paying them to work for you full time. And then also paying them commission on the book, you know? Are video game writers on strike now? David, for WoW, we wouldn't notice if they lost all their writers, because their writers are basically non-existent anyway. Like, we wouldn't even know. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't affect the game, really. Hollywood is having a strike right now? Oh, good. Yeah, I care so little about Hollywood and about movies that I kind of heard about that, but it affects me not at all. I think most movies are hot garbage, and I think most TV is garbage. It's the same problem with like TV and movie storytelling, is they can't tell any compelling things for the long term because of shit like the writer's strike and shit like the actor's strike. You could have crafted a great story that goes for a season, but then an actor has to leave, or there's a writer's strike, or one of the actors said something on Instagram or Twitter that you don't politically agree with as a company, so you have to let them go. Like, and then the story changes, and then the story is different. The story just is the story is a play-by-ear story. It's never thought out like a novel is. It's just garbage. I can't get into any TV shows. They did The Mandalorian wrong in season 3, and that woke me up. Because Mandalorian season 1 and 2 was so good, and then when 3 took a complete turn, I was like, oh, this is awful. And that kind of woke me up to like how bad like long-form storytelling is in both movies and TV especially. The Witcher has the same problem now, like another dead TV show. Like, yeah. Oh, I stopped watching Mando season 3 like a couple episodes in. It was just trash, you know. And then I found out dude was leaving anyway. It's like, okay. It was already trash. We should be more concerned with the UPS strike than the actor strike. Yeah, if there's a UPS strike, Nerd Strong, absolutely fucking lootly. That could be why a lot of my Amazon deliveries have been like canceled the past couple days. It's like stuff is not coming with the regularity that it used to. And yeah, that's more important to me than whether or not we get more shitty movies in the MCU or something. You know? All of the MCU is cesspool storytelling now. Yeah. I don't care about any of it. I hope it all goes away. If you want long-form stories that are good, you have to figure out how to read books or listen to audiobooks. Especially if you're into fantasy science fiction. You're never going to get really, really good, complete, thought-out stories from TV or movies in science fiction fantasy. It's never going to... You might get stuff that's like fun to watch or like it's amusing, but you're not going to get satisfying long-term stories. It's impossible for the medium. Breaking Bad had the most satisfying ending of any TV show you've ever seen. Yeah, that may be. That may have been in a time, like you're talking about AMC, they probably cared a lot about that intellectual property. They probably paid lots of money to the actor, to the writers, to the show creators to have them keep making it. And yeah, very rarely you'll see a show be able to execute upon its storyline. I feel like Walking Dead did an okay job of and I haven't finished the last season at all. But I feel like ultimately The Walking Dead did an okay job of telling some compelling stories, even though they had the same problems. They had people that had to leave the show and things like that. Like the story changed over time, obviously. But I felt like it was okay. But yeah, ultimately for me, I'm over TV and movies. I don't care about it anymore. Mando passed the ball. The girl from Battlestar Galactica, Katie Sackhoff. Her character, I hate her. I don't know why. I hated her in Battlestar Galactica. I've hated her in every single... She just never plays a character like... It doesn't seem like... I don't know. Let me think about it for a minute. I don't want to say anything that is not accurate. Like, yeah, I don't like her. I've never liked her. I didn't like her in Battlestar Galactica. I've never liked her. And I really didn't like her inclusion as that character in The Mandalorian. I thought she was going to be a villain for a long time because she always looked like she was kind of evil. And what I realized, it was bad acting. It wasn't that she was like secretly evil. It was just kind of that she's a bad actor. And so I couldn't get a read on her emotions properly in the show because she wasn't a good actor. I always thought that she was just up to no good. The season 3 of Mandalorian was over for me when, for some reason, like Grogu was not with Luke. When Grogu was not with Luke, when we didn't get to see Luke anymore, when we didn't get to see Grogu's Jedi training, I knew that the season was over for me. Because it was so cool to see Luke come in at the end of season 2 and just like trash all those fucking droids. I was so excited. And then yeah, we never saw him again. She did the voice. Oh, that's fine. Voice acting is fine, but like I don't want to see her on screen because I think she's a bad actress. I think like her facial expressions never convey the thing that when she has the helmet on, that was better. Yeah. It was that they started showing her a lot with the helmet off. That was the problem, like, because she wasn't following the way or whatever. So she just had her helmet off all the time. If she'd have kept her effing helmet on, then it probably would have been fine, but I think her facial expressions were always, like, off to me. They were always off. I can't even explain it any better than that. I wish I could. Yeah, I don't want to use any descriptive words for what I'm thinking about, but yeah, she just felt off to me. She's felt off in everything I've ever seen her in. The show's not even about Grogu anymore. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Because you can't have a show about Grogu where, like, Mando's not there, you know? It was their story of them growing their relationship together and, like, the things that they got up to. It wasn't about these other people, like... And that's what I mean when I say they can't tell their story, because they have to change their story based on circumstances. That's what TV shows have to do. It's like they can't tell a story. They have to tell the story they're able to tell. And when you have to work like that, you're not always going to be able to tell the most compelling stories because you're going to have to work with limited resources, limited actors, limited time. Like, you don't have everything it takes to tell a truly great story. Are we done here? And I'm just like running around in this cave for no reason? It sure seems like it. It sure seems like it. Not a safe place to be. Monica, good morning. Nathan, I'm not sure. I think they're gonna. From what it seems like, they're gonna progress without Mando, without Grogu. I don't know. I stopped watching it like a couple episodes into season 3. It had turned into garbage. It had turned into garbage. I'll probably still try to watch Andor because I thought Andor was pretty good, and we know where the story of Andor ends. That's the good thing about Andor. Is like they only have to get us so far with Andor because we've seen Rogue One, so we know how the character ends up, you know, which is at one point it kind of sucks, but at the other end, at least we know that there's an ending, right? So I'll probably still watch Andor season 2 when that comes out, but I don't know. The Ahsoka show, it's gonna go the same way as Mando. No, I'm not gonna start watching it because who's the girl that plays Ahsoka in the live action? I forget what her name is, but she's somebody, which means they're not gonna be able to keep her for long. Or she'll say something on social media that Disney doesn't like, and they'll have to boot her from the show. Like, no, I'm not going to get into the Ahsoka show because, like, I want it to be good, and so it's not going to be good, you know? Wardian Gaming, thanks for being here. I appreciate that. Everything is good, my friend. We need that potion, absolutely. We have no potions right now, and I need that potion badly. Rosario Dawson, that's right. That's right, it's Rosario Dawson. Yeah, she almost, back when like Daredevil was a good show, she almost had like a part in the MCU. Does she have any roles in the actual MCU? Did they move her character in? I know that Daredevil guy, he was in one of the Spider-Man movies for a brief second. Daredevil season 1, another TV show example of like a TV show that starts really, really good and then things change, writers change, directors change, and the show gets worse. Yeah, Daredevil season 1 and 2. Absolutely amazing. And then like the last season was absolute garbage. The Defenders was kind of garbage. Punisher Season 2, garbage. They did a lot of really good Season 1s. Like, yeah, Daredevil was an amazing show for a hot minute. I really loved, like, the fighting style, the long, drawn-out fights where they do the one cut. They do the one cut in the hallway, and he's just in the hallway beating the guys up, getting his butt kicked, like, going through the rooms. I love the cinematography of Daredevil and how they choreographed the long cut fight scenes. Were really awesome. Even though they cheated a little bit, you know, they'd have him fly into a room and then come back and fly and like out of it. So they kind of cheated with the long cut, but it felt good, you know. The Star Wars movies with Rey had no direction; they were making it up as they went. Yeah, I fucking absolutely believe that because that's what it felt like. It felt like it started off as a Star Wars movie, and it felt like a bunch of people sitting in a room saying, "It'd be cool if. What about if we do this? How about next we go here?" It definitely felt like something that was just being made up on the fly. But like so much of movie and TV feels like that to me. That it's just all it's made up week to week. It's made up as they go. They're constantly changing the story, and it's just like it's bad. But yeah, you know, so that's how I feel about movies and TV. Daredevil is the blind guy whose superpower is that he can see. That's not it, you know. He's got like super reflexes and he's super agile and has like trained his body for years and years. But yeah, ultimately his superpower is that because he can hear so well, he can just see. But he's a blind guy that can see better and faster than people who can see. So yeah, like I can see, but I can't dodge bullets. I can't even dodge a baton coming at my head. But he can't see, but he can do those things. That's his superpower. He can't see so much that he can see better and quicker than most people. Yeah, he's an awesome character. What do I think about the UFO stuff going on? Like the public hearing next week? Are they putting aliens on trial for their illegal use of UFOs in American airspace? I have to say, like, I don't want to take the piss out of it. I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe that there are aliens that visit the planet Earth. So I don't want to take the piss out of it. So I need to say that before I say anything else. Not that I don't find it an interesting thing to debunk, you know. But I know people really believe in that stuff. I don't want to offend anybody who's like a hardcore alien believer. That's just not me. I love how this has turned into what's Robert's take on this. Yeah, the streams get like that sometimes. It's really easy to get me to talk about lots of things. Especially early in the morning, like as the afternoon goes on and my energy level declines, not so much. But as we start off, I don't mind spending a bunch of time in the beginning of the stream talking. It's fun. I like hanging out and talking about stuff with you guys. Yeah, I hope aliens aren't real too. If aliens are real, they're eventually gonna siphon our planet for resources and eradicate us. Because if I was an alien species and I saw the kind of shit that humanity does, I wouldn't be like, yeah, we should talk to these guys, bring them into the fold, share technology with them. I'd be like, yeah, let's cleanse this planet. That would be my reaction. I mean, we're already killing ourselves all the time, and we're horrible to each other by and by. You know. Yeah, I don't believe that any UFOs are piloted by extraterrestrials or interdimensional beings or any. If there are any UFOs, it's technology that they don't want you to know about. You know, we have lots of technology. You have to think that like technology is probably more advanced than we think it is. So yeah, I think any kind of, and what they'll do is like the government's fine. The government's fine to let people think that it's aliens or the interdimensional beings. Like they're fine to like let that shit go on and on. Because in the meantime, they can make whatever aircraft they want, and they can test whatever aircraft they want, and they can be like, damn, must have been one of those UFOs we had that hearing about. Wasn't us. Wasn't our enemies. It was a UFO, guys. We said they're real. Yeah, like, yeah, yes. The UFO shit is a misdirection. Absolutely. It might be a misdirection from what the ships really are, or it might be just a misdirection from world events, because, like, there are no UFOs, you know? I don't know. I've never seen a fucking UFO, so I don't know. I can't say. And I've never seen a UFO, and I've never seen any footage or evidence to make me believe that they exist for sure. Yeah, it would take a fucking mothership landing. It would take Lester Holt telling me, like, the aliens have landed. They've come for our water supply. Like, I'm not a believer, because I used to be as a kid. You know, I was a believer as a kid. I grew up and I realized that it's not the case. Yeah, I like that quote. Yeah, Aaron, that quote. That quote was at the beginning of the XCOM games. Yeah, there are two possibilities: either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. Yeah, either way, it's incomprehensible. You either live in a universe that's completely devoid of other life, or you live in a universe with other life in it that you're never going to get to interact with. And that's the thing, it's like, you know, there are probably planets with other life forms. That's not the same as saying that we're ever going to be able to interact with any of it. You know, I'm not saying that I don't believe that there are other planets with life. When I say I don't believe in aliens, I say I don't believe that there are little gray men visiting this planet in spaceships and collecting data or whatever people think they do. I think that's absurd. Even when we go collect data, guys, we don't send the aliens. We send drones and shit. So like even if it was something else, you know, it would never be a manned spacecraft that we were seeing. It would always be only a drone. And they have public hearings about UFOs because these days, if they don't do that stuff, a lot of people say, oh, look, they're denying it. That means it's true. That means aliens they're denying it. So yeah, they make it public now and they acknowledge it. They're like, yeah, there's shit in the sky. We don't always know what it is. It happens. You know, they just acknowledge it now. Because it's better to just acknowledge it than to try to, like, say that it doesn't exist, because then people go all conspiracy theory, and it gives people more reason to, like, believe harder that the government is, like, acting against them to hide the existence of aliens. It's crazy. It would be funny if we find other life forms and we decide to stalk and gaslight them for hundreds of years but never show ourselves. Yeah. Exactly. Think about that. Like, if it was another species, so what? They're just stalking us from the shadows, never to reveal themselves. For what? To collect data on what? You don't have to be on the planet long to collect the data you need. The Earth is a shithole. Humans are destroying it. Like, it's really simple. Oh, we were like getting a facing error. We must have had a little bit of lag there. I don't see any lag on my end. That was a little bit weird. But now people are saying because of the acknowledgement it's true. Yeah, so either way, people... Yes, exactly, Max. Listen to this. If you are the person who believes in aliens, you believe they've been to this planet, you believe that the unidentified flying objects that we capture sometimes in footage are aliens, if you believe that, you're going to believe it no matter what. And you're going to find justification to believe it no matter what, because you have to reaffirm your belief, you know, because the alternative is that you have to give up your belief. And people really don't like giving up or changing their beliefs, even when there's evidence. Or a lack of evidence.
What can I do for you?
They don't do it. Please tell me you don't believe in flat earth. I don't even know. I don't even think I understand all of the flat earth theory, and I don't think I need to understand all of it to know that if there is a theory called flat earth theory, that it's obviously fucking completely incorrect. I don't even need to know, like, the details of it, and I don't, and it has never interested me enough to even read a single article about what people who believe in the flat earth theory actually believe. I don't need to know any of what they believe, because the name of their theory is the flat earth theory, and that is wrong already. And so therefore I actually don't need to learn anything else about it to pass judgment on it. Yeah. But people will believe anything, and like, it always baffles me. Because I'm like, what do you get out of believing a fallacy that doesn't affect your life in any way? What do you get out of it?
See you soon.
What do you get out of it? I've never understood it. I've never understood why people are so able and willing to lie to themselves about things that don't actually affect their life directly. Whether or not the earth is fucking flat, you still gotta go punch into your job and work your ass off, and then eventually you're gonna die. And it doesn't have anything to do with whether the earth is flat. Nothing about your life is gonna change. They get attention? Do they? I mean, some people get attention with it, like people who are like prominent in like social media and on the internet and stuff, but like the average person who believes it gets nothing. The average person sitting there at home, like listening to me berate it, and they're like, I believe in that stuff. Why is he knocking it? Like that person gets nothing out of believing. You know what I mean? Unless it's like maybe a sense of belonging to a belief structure. Like maybe it's a thing that like religion used to give people where you could believe in something, and that gave you a sense of like belonging to a community. Maybe that's what they get out of it. Maybe it's like a pseudo-religious thing almost. That's really all I can think for like for whatever the intrinsic motivation is inside of a person to just believe that stuff in silence. When they don't have a platform, when they're not getting attention for espousing those beliefs. I have to believe it's like a pseudo-religion thing. Yeah, and Chris, the thing is, people are able to believe whatever they want. I always look at evidence first. I don't really care so much about beliefs. No one's belief is ever going to sway like just factual evidence. Data that's been collected, data that I can observe. And ultimately, like I said, it doesn't matter to me. If someone said tomorrow, guys, it fucking turns out the earth is flat, I'd be like, okay, so what do I have to do differently? And they'd say, well, nothing, but the earth is actually flat. And I'd say, okay, so what changes about my reality? And they'd say, well, nothing, but the earth is flat. And I'd say, okay, fuck off, I'm gonna keep living my life. That's how I look at stuff like that. I'm like, even if tomorrow, like the thing you believe is proven to be true, who cares? Who cares? What would that change about your life? Absolutely nothing. It might change how you feel, but it's not going to change anything about your life. Your life's not going to suddenly get better. Your life's not going to suddenly get worse. It's going to do, your life's going to do those things on its own without your belief being affirmed or denied. Yeah, people should have their own opinions, but I really wish people would like have those thoughts and opinions. But then I wish they'd have a reflective moment where they'd realize that even if their belief is true, that it's not going to change anything about how they live or how other people live. It's completely irrelevant. For 99% of people who are not astronauts, the shape of the Earth is irrelevant. Although it must be weird to get blasted into space and just see a flat Earth. Like, I don't know. Or I guess like if you're a flat Earth person, you don't believe we've ever been to space, I guess. I guess that would have to follow. It's like, you can't believe that we have a functioning space program with satellites orbit the Earth. Cell phones work, guys. Cell phones work because satellites orbit the round Earth because the Earth is round, the Earth has mass, the Earth has gravity, the gravity holds satellites in orbit, the satellites go around the Earth. I'm sure it's a fun mental exercise to think of reasons why all of that is bullshit. To be like, well, actually, a satellite could dap-a-dap-a-dip-a-dap. Maybe that's just like people are bored, you know? And people need like a fun mental exercise to justify the reality of things that aren't real. I don't know. The Earth will never be... I think the Earth is flat in Azeroth. Like, I think Azeroth is the only place where the world is actually flat. Because it's a video game, you know? We're not living in a video game though, so yeah. A lot of time on their hands. Yeah, not just a lot of time. Like you gotta understand that like a lot of people have daily lives, and a lot of people work jobs that are not mentally engaging. A lot of people have jobs that do not intellectually stimulate them. They do things in their life that are not mentally stimulating, that are not physically or mentally stimulating, and so it's not that they have mental free time. You know, because they're not killing themselves having to build a pyramid for some autocratic ruler, and they're not enslaved somewhere. They're just working at Arby's, and so they have a lot of mental bandwidth, like a lot of mental free time to think about this stuff, and so that's definitely part of it. We can all agree lizard people live among us. Yeah, I don't see why not. I'm much more willing to accept lizard people than aliens or flat Earth. Yeah, like I still need proof. Like, until I see a lizard person, I'm not gonna really believe it, but... Yeah, like I said, I often think like, what if one of these weird things is true? And then I just realize that it's not going to change my life anyway. I'm just a nobody. If there are aliens, if the world is flat, you know, if there are interdimensional beings, if the moon is actually a hollow alien space station that's been watching us for eternity, none of that's really going to change me. It's not going to make a difference in my life. You know, I'm not going to go meet the aliens. I'm not going to go to the hollow moon battle station. Like, I'm going to be sitting here doing this until I can't do it. Aaron says, I'm more worried that a private bank has control over issuing our nation's currency than I am about aliens or flat. Yeah, real problems. I think that, like, the real problems that face the world and the real problems that face society, since they are real, and since they are unchangeable by most of us are never going to be able to make the world better. Most of us are never going to make the world better. We're never going to stop billionaires from living in 60,000 square foot mansions while people starve in the streets homeless. We're never going to be able to change any of that shit. And so instead of thinking about all that real bad shit, people want to think about other stuff. They want to think about fantasy stuff. They want to think about the flat earth. They want to think about the aliens. They want to think about the hollow moon. Because thinking about kids starving, thinking about homeless people, thinking about children being blown up in an apartment complex in some war, and knowing that you can't change any of that shit is too hard. But thinking about conspiracy theories and knowing you can't change any of that, that's easy. You know, you just get to think about it. You don't have to think about anything else while you're thinking about that stuff. You focus your attention and world around that. Meanwhile, the actual world and actual people are suffering all the time. But that shit's hard to think about every day. Remind me not to hire Robert as a motivational speaker. Oh, absolutely not. Yeah. I don't think it's anybody's job to motivate a person but themselves. I'm not gonna lie, poverty's kind of boring. Yeah, poverty's not a hot topic. You know, fucking billionaire dude living in a 60,000 square foot home by himself while people fucking starve in the streets and don't have shelter and melt in the heat. Like, that's not an issue, because that would mean we'd have to find a way to redistribute wealth, which means there had to be broad sweeping systemic changes in our political systems and how we govern ourselves. Nobody's smart enough to think about all that stuff, and we don't have the power to anyway. The power is firmly kept out of our hands. We can't change anything, you know, so we think about fake shit instead. Some people weave the fake stuff into their daily beliefs. Some people just play video games. And they don't weave fake shit into their daily beliefs. They play video games and they just acknowledge that they can't do anything about the world's problems. You know, except be a decent person to the people you encounter. Like, but yeah. BRB gonna fly my private jet to a climate change summit. Alright. Yeah, exactly. It's not really intense, David. I have moments of intensity. I try not to channel intensity for too long. Yeah. I eventually get to a point with, like, yeah, with conspiracy theories and stuff. I always get to the point where I'm like, come on. There's more important shit to think about. If you're gonna waste your time contemplating the things that you can do nothing about, contemplate the real things going on in the world you can do nothing about. Don't worry about if the moon is an alien space station. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Worry about poverty, homelessness, hunger, war, famine. Like, worry about some real shit. We got a lot of real shit going on. Enough to occupy anybody's idle brain, if you got an idle brain. Or I'd rather you just go play a video game than, like, try to delude yourself into a way of thinking that has no meaning. You knew what you were getting into, yeah. Alright, I'll knock it off. We'll kill some trolls and we'll kind of move on with the day. Probably for the best. I'll get to see all the YouTube comments talking about how negative I am and shit. You're so negative in the streams. I wish you would just be happy. Okay, so you want me to lie to your face? No, don't be sorry you brought it up, Chris. Don't ever be sorry you brought it up. I love talking about stuff. It's just like, at a point, I know no one wants to hear it. So I think we're at that point. Unless anyone's got any new stuff to throw out there. You know, anybody got any new? Being real and being negative are two different things. Yeah, I believe that too, Max. I believe that negativity is okay as long as it's honest. As long as it's not like negativity for negativity's sake. I will always be negative about things that I honestly feel negative about. And I don't think people understand that. And especially people who only watch the recorded series definitely would not understand that about me. So I'm sure it's jarring when some people come into the stream and they hear me talking about real things. And they're like, damn, this dude is kind of negative. No, I'm just really honest about stuff. Especially in the stream. I spent such a long time teaching corporate classes, standing in front of 30 or 40 people all day long, every day for 8 hours a day, talking to them about, like, things, but never being able to, like, be real with them. That one of the things I told myself about streaming was that if I was ever going to stream, I was only ever going to be my genuine self, whoever that was in the moment. And that I wasn't going to try to obfuscate or hide behind a positive mask or try to create a specific image. That I wasn't going to do any of that shit again. Because I did that in corporate America for a long time. And I kind of got burned out of it. So that was one of the things that I told myself when I started streaming is that I'm always only ever going to be real. I'm only always ever going to bring the energy to the stream that I actually feel. Yeah, Jason, the lock is done. It didn't die. I just got super bored with it. It was a really boring class for me. Oh god, don't fall off the cliff, Robert. Not like this. Not like this. I don't feel like it drops off these guys, even though Questie says that it does. I don't feel like... I feel like Questie is lying to my face. And it drops! Yes! You talk crap about it, then an item will drop. That's what you have to do. If an item's not dropping, just talk crap about the drop rate. Just be like, it never drops for me, ever at all, and then it will drop for you. That's how you get it done. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this basket. Some of the baskets are hard to get to because they're surrounded by big pulls. I don't want to go into those big pulls, but we'll get some of the ones on the outskirts. Alex, I have not started alchemy yet. Nope. We still got skinning. I'm gonna wait till like 20 to do alchemy. If I pull this guy, is the guy back there gonna pull? That's the question. Oh, okay, we already pulled them. Perfect, perfect. Jason, you haven't missed much recently. We had a couple of Warlock streams that obviously didn't go anywhere because the Warlock is deleted. The Paladin's still alive. The Paladin's been like really slow going. We're gonna get on the Pally today at some point, and we're just gonna do some grinding and kind of eat through some of his rested. I need to find like a grinding spot somewhere, probably Feralus or wherever we're parked at. We're probably parked in Stranglethorn for some reason. But yeah. Oh yeah, this, Alex, we got this from like a quest reward. I forget where. I think I have one more. No, I must have popped it. Must have popped it. The female gnome dance is interesting. I had her dance the other day, but then I walked away and didn't see it. Is it interesting? Or is it interesting? Okay. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a dance. It isn't. There's some interesting things going on, like... I'm not sure. We almost seem like we're like a filled water balloon, the way our body is undulating. Like, we're just a sack full of water, I think. If someone pricks us, we're gonna leak a bunch of water out of us. It's a little bit weird. That's fine, though. I've seen worse dances in WoW. There are definitely more lascivious dances in WoW, for sure. D. John, thank you, man, for the dance. I'm gonna start dancing for tips, yeah. I appreciate you. It looks like she's trying to mix a martini. Shaken, not stirred. Like a filled water balloon. Be nice to my ex. Oh, damn. Burn. Are we done with this one? Did I get all the weed? I got all the weed. Let's get out. Hearthstone, where are we set to? Oh, is Questie doing the thing again? Oh, there it is. It's working, but not really. Alright, let's get out of here. Oh no, we have to go back to Brunel Village. Yeah, we have to go back to Brunel Village first. Let's not Hearth out of here. Let's get ourselves out of this area, and let's get back to Brunel. Oh, hi there. All the dances are from pop culture? Yeah, see, I wouldn't know all of them in that case. I wouldn't know them all. I don't know any actual dances. And yeah, the only time I dance is when my son wants me to dance. He likes throwing like little parties, and he had a little party for his birthday where we turned the light disco, and he wanted to play music and dance. So I dance with my son, and that's about it. And by dance, I mean move around my body like I'm a filled water balloon. It's basically the same thing you just saw the gnome do. Justin, I've had multiple times today where I've looked at my weapon and I've thought the same thing, even though I've known it wasn't the case. I keep like doing double takes at my weapon, like, oh, fishing pole, oh, fishing pole, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's a practice sword, but it looks just like a fishing rod would look. I really need to train herbalism, like, pronto. The problem is, I think the only place to do that is going to be back in Ironforge. Aaron, right now we're doing skinning to get some money. We're eventually going to drop skinning and we're going to take alchemy. So I'm not selling the herbs. I should have gotten an herb bag. I need to get an herb bag. But first I need to store the herbs in the bank too. Yeah, we're eventually going to drop skinning. At level 20 or so. Yep, at level 20 we'll have a bunch of herbs and we'll just do a bunch of alchemy to kind of get us caught up. But I kind of want to see if we make it that long before I really bother with it, you know?
Here there. Be good. No! Keep your feet on the ground!
Oh, we're set to Goldshire. Okay, so we're not hearthing back. We are going to make the run. That's pretty useful, though. Whenever we want to go back to Goldshire, that'll be super useful. We won't have to worry about catching the tram or anything. So I actually don't mind that. But it's going to be a little bit of a run to get back. The weapon looks like a pool cue? Yes. Yes, it does. Absolutely. It's some kind of training sword. It has agility on it, though. We actually got really lucky with this. Like, we got, like, really lucky with this drop. It's a really good weapon for level 5. Yeah, I don't know why we got lucky like that, but we did. Keza, hello, good afternoon. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Alex, to your point, it's probably always better just to kind of travel. Unless I'm like wrapping up a stream for a day or trying to get out of the back of a cave, you know? That's usually like a good time to blow the Hearthstone. Cave or end of stream. Or, you know, going across continents. Getting back to the Eastern Kingdoms down there to the south is going to be pretty easy now that we've left our Hearthstone set. So. Aaron, the last time you were in chat, you got 2 job offers? Cool. Did you take either job? Apparently not if you're still looking. Ah, freelance work. Gotcha. That makes sense. Aaron, I don't like bosses either. I completely understand. That's exactly why, not exactly why, it's one of the big reasons why I am where I am. Yeah. Because, you know, in my profession, like, I had some leeway. I had some leeway with how I worked and when I worked, except for the part of the year when I had to be in class for half the year. Then I had to go where I was told, when I was told, no matter what part of the country it was in, no matter if I wanted to raid, no matter if I wanted to spend time with the family, I just had to do what I was told. And yeah, if not for the teaching part of the job, I might have stayed in my profession longer. If all I was doing was writing materials, and if I could have done that from home and just like ridden the courses, and if I hadn't had to travel to teach, I would have kept the job probably for a few more years. And it's funny because like after 2020, it all went virtual. So like right when I left anyway, everything went virtual. And then like had I been there for another year or so, like yeah, I would have had to teach classes, but I would have been doing it from home, like sitting at my computer, similar to what I'm doing now. And now my wife works basically the job that I had, but at a much higher level, and she does all of her work from home. So it's kind of funny how like just a couple years, like when I was talking to my last boss about wanting to work from home, like, and how I didn't want to travel much anymore, like she was very skeptical. And then like a couple years later, that's just how the entire world works for that job. I often think about like, you know, doing some freelance training development, but I don't know. I still like it. I still like learning theory. And when my wife has questions about stuff, I can kind of look at her materials and like give her some tips based on my experience. And that's always fun to still be connected to that world because I still enjoy it. But ultimately, I don't think I would ever fully go back to it. Hario, yeah, it probably has drawbacks for some people. It hasn't had any drawbacks for me yet, but I'm really lucky to be in the situation in life that I'm in. So, like, for me, it's worked out. But yeah, not everybody can choose to do what I did at the time that I did it in my life. I really need to buy another bag, but I'm kind of thinking of just buying the herb bag. That would help out.
What's on your mind? Safe travels.
Alright, that one's taking us to Ironforge. We might go do that. I can stop by the bank. I can stop by the herbalist trainer. And then maybe we can get back into Elwyn. Let's do... What is the Shimmer Stout? Shimmer Stout goes to Mountaineer Barley Brew. Where's he at? I have no idea. Mountaineer Barley Brew. I guess I could read the quest. Southern Guard Tower. Okay, so on the way to Loch Modan. And the reports go to Ironforge. Elwyn Forest, the escape. Oh, we need to go talk to her at the farm. Princess must die. We probably can't do yet. And then we need to head out to guard Thomas. Okay, yeah, let's go to Ironforge. Let's get that turned in. Because your desk chair is uncomfortable, you felt a bit lonely when you did fully work remote yourself? Yeah, I can, especially if you're a person that if you live alone, then I could definitely see that like working from home may not be for everybody in the circumstance where you live by yourself. Yeah, like if I lived by myself and I was given the choice, like do you wanna work at home or commute to the office? I'd probably commute most days. If it was just me. Like when you get to be at home with your family and like when you and your spouse both work at home, like you don't really feel lonely. It just really helps with like life balance when you can do it that way. But yeah, definitely if I was just on my own, yeah. There would be days when I wouldn't want to, you know, there'd be days when I would take advantage of staying at home. But there would be as many days, if not more, that I would probably go to the office just to like be around some people a little bit. Like I don't like a lot of socialization, but if I was living by myself, that would probably get a little bit too much. And Justin, you love it. Yeah, I think there would be days that I would love it, yeah. Because I am an introvert. But then there would be days where I'd be like, man, Robert, you gotta get out of the house, man. you gotta go see some humans. And with my current life, I get to see the humans that I want to see. So I don't really have to feel that impulse to like go out, go anywhere, do anything. I think that ultimately, if you work a job that can be done from home, you should always at least have the option to do it that way. It's especially in a society where you're expected to work 5 or 6 days a week, you know, 40 to 60 hours a week. I think that like any job that can let you work at home, which is not all jobs, obviously, They should. They should be socially obligated to allow you to work at home for your mental health. For those days when you're like, listen, I can't come to work today, but I could probably get work done if I can stay at home and do it. Like, how many days have you had like that when, like, you wake up, you know you have to go to the office, it's the last effing thing you want to do, and sometimes you just don't go in, you call off. Could you have gotten work done that day? Yeah, maybe, but not if it meant dragging yourself to the office. Yeah, I do feel like ultimately, like, working from home allows people to feel like they have more agency over their life. Even if you only work from home part of the time, like, I honestly think that it lets you feel like you have more agency over your life. For me, it always just made me feel better about where I was at in life if I had the option to work at home.
What's on your mind?
Because in my opinion, like, no one should have to work 5-6 days a week. Like, the work week should be 4 days long. We should have 3 days off. And yeah, when you work at home, like, you're doing work, but it's like, you get to at least be at your home, you know? I feel bad for people who, like, have a big rent or a big mortgage, and then you spend most of your waking hours not being able to be at your home. Like, you get to live at your home on the weekends, like, you pay the bulk of your money to have a home, and you spend the least of your time at that home awake. You know, you spend most of your time at your home, like, either relaxing from your workday or sleeping your workday off. And the rest of the time you're at work or you're commuting, and it's like, wow, that feels especially horrible. The downside is the AC runs all day. Yeah. Hey, that's true, but, like, if you're not commuting, if you would have had a big commute, you know, you'd be using gas money to, like, get yourself to and from work. So yeah, you're potentially going to pay more in bills, right? Potentially. It's absolutely true. Alright, let's go. We're going to keep going. We're going to go 3 points Rend, and then we'll go 2 points Heroic Strike. The AC runs in Florida all day anyway. Yep. I believe that. Yeah, no gas, no traffic, not eating out as much, no chance of getting into an accident. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, those are all good things about people working at home. Is yeah, you're not burning gas, you don't have to deal with traffic, you don't have to have a commute. So, like, a lot of people, like, yeah, you might have an 8-hour workday, but if you live almost an hour from work, then you don't have an 8-hour workday. You have a 10-hour workday. You have a 10.5-hour workday. You have an 11-hour workday, but you're not getting paid for all of it. You're getting screwed. And so, yeah, working from home is better. If you can do it, ultimately, like, it has its trade-offs, but, like, being able to do it is better than just not having the option. Anything I need to pick up here? Yeah, I need to train Herbalism. Let's go do that, and then we will hearth over to Elwyn. Yeah, less traffic is always better for many, many, many reasons. Obviously, like, less resources burned, less chances of accidents. Like, the world is an encounter. Every time you leave the house, you kind of have to tell yourself that, like, anything can and will happen. Like, the world out there is hardcore. So, like, anytime you don't have to leave, it's like, okay, you avoid any potential negative outcome.
Hello.
We're good there.
See you soon.
Alright, I think we're fine. We're level 12, so we'll hearth to Elwyn, we'll talk to our trainer. Oh, you know what? I have a guy to talk to here. Yeah, let's go do this. Let's go talk to our trainer here. That way, the next time we're over in Dunmorrow, we can go do the warrior quest. I think we could start the human warrior quest, but I don't think we can finish it. I think when you're a dwarf or a gnome, you have to do the dwarf or gnome quest. I don't think we can do the human one. Henrik, the Warlock didn't die, man. I was really bored with it, so I just deleted it. Yeah, the Warlock was doing fine. I wasn't interested in the class, so. Now we're playing a class that I actually love. Alright, bring Vezric's head. Okay, so he's a troll.
Watch your back.
We are not going to do that right now. But we will talk to a warrior trainer here if we can.
No.
Overpowered. Nice, nice. Battle Shout rank 2 and shield bash. Oh, we don't have the money. We don't have the money, buddy. Okay, that's fine. Let's Hearth for now. We'll take Overpower and we'll be happy with that for the time being. Oh, a Thunderclap I never put out. Overpower can be 4. There we go. That's the worst kind of death? Yeah, you know, the alternative was like I would keep playing it, making myself play it, being more and more bored with it, and eventually I'd probably get it killed anyway. I figured the honest thing to do was just to delete it and go again. Yeah, yeah, the death where you're overburdened with indifference, that's what it felt like. Yep, that was how it was. I didn't really care if the character lived or died. I did risky stuff and was getting away with it, and finally I was like, ugh, I'm not excited to play this class. The pet classes are too detached for me. Like, when the pet is tanking the enemy far away, and I'm just kind of standing there waiting for it to die, I feel really detached from the character. Alright, let's go out to guard Thomas. We're not going to try Princess yet, I don't think. I don't think so.
How are you?
What I need to decide is, do I want to get another bag? Do I want to just get an herbalism bag and be done with it? That's the question.
Have a good one.
Yeah, Nicole, it was powerful but not interesting. Yeah, it's weird. Like, it was super powerful. You know, we just put our dots up, we let our Voidwalker go in, and we either just stand there, or we drain life, or we hit it with our stick. I never got a wand, so we could have been wanding, but yeah, it's ultimately really boring to me. I need general goods. I think I want to try to buy the herbalism bag.
Greetings.
Oh, we can't get one from you. Oh, general supply. So maybe a trade supply vendor would have it, but general goods does not. Okay, okay. Maybe I just buy another normal bag for now and we cut our losses.
I supply only the finest goods.
Let's do that, and then that way we'll save the last slot for the herbalism bag.
Be careful.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the normal bag for now, that way we can carry more junk. And we put all of our herbs in the bank, so we should be good for a while. Alright, off to the east we go. Yeah, Kevin, I like Wrath too. I like the systems in Wrath. I like where the classes are at in Wrath, but for me, like, Wrath just didn't really have a future for me. Because I wasn't going to raid every week. The LFD tool is not in the game, so I can't even farm 5-man dungeons for badge gear the way I want to. When they put LFD in, I'm going to go back to Wrath, I'm going to level up a character, and I'm going to see how I feel about the game then. Being able to level up with LFD, being able to do LFD at endgame, like, I'll see how I feel about it. Ultimately, though, I cleared all the raids so many times when I was in my 20s that I don't have a big interest in, like, raiding again. Somebody pointed out in a comment, they're like, you say you don't get into Wrath because you've done all the raids before, and yet you roll characters over and over and over again. And I'm like, that's kind of a fair point, but keep in mind, like, every character's journey is different. But the raid fights are the same every time. And the loot is the same as it was then. And so, yes, person who left that comment, I do play lots and lots of characters through similar content, but every journey feels unique to me because, like, you never do things in the same order the same way twice. But with the raid, you absolutely want to do everything in the same way each time, every time the same way for the same gear every time. So yeah. Aaron, any idea how important professions are to having a successful run? You're going to get different answers from different people. My opinion is that professions are never going to save your life. In a situation where you might die, you're probably not going to be saved by professions. With the exception of like maybe if you had alchemy and you had some potions and maybe you never would have got any potions otherwise, so you have alchemy potions, you pop a potion, it saves your life. I don't really think that even if you made yourself some gear with like tailoring or leatherworking, that it's really going to do much to affect whether or not you're going to live. Because a lot of living in hardcore is just making the right choice. And a lot of times like the right choice you have to make is when to run away. And choosing when to run away and choosing when to engage is never going to have anything to do with your professions. So I personally think that professions have a small part to play in whether you're going to survive or not. I don't think they're an enormous part. The Paladin's my highest level character, and we don't have shit going for professions. I dropped blacksmithing, I gave up on blacksmithing almost right away. And I don't even mine ore that much anymore to sell it, and yet the Paladin is the highest level character that I've gotten. And I've worked on professions a lot more on the other characters who have gotten killed. So I really have a hard time believing that min-maxing professions is going to do a lot. When you get killed, it's going to be because of hyper spawns, it's going to be because of a bad pull, it's going to be because of something that was outside of the control of professions. That's just my opinion, though.
For the Alliance. Need help? Go with honor, friend.
I feel like alchemy is probably the most useful as far as survival, just because you can make health pots. Just because you can make mana pots. And health and mana might help you live. But whether or not you've crafted for yourself a bunch of green gear, it's only going to affect minimally if something goes wrong. If something goes horribly wrong, your gear is probably not going to save you. A potion might. Steven, good morning, man. Thanks for being here.
Greetings.
Yeah, like I said, the health pots are the most visible way to like see like, did this profession help me survive? Like a health pot, you could say yes, that health pot like saved me. That being said, like you don't have to have alchemy to have health pots. You can find a lot of health pots on vendors throughout the game if you're diligently checking. You get a lot of health pots from drops in the world. If you're fishing up like treasure chests, you can get health pots if you're just working on fishing. So like you don't need alchemy to have pots, you know. It just really helps.
King's honor, friend.
More work?
Target dummy from engineering could save you. Yeah, that's a good point. The target dummy is like a stone claw totem you can throw down to get threat from an enemy. It could save you. Yeah. I'll allow that one, sure. Absolutely. It could save you. Doesn't mean it's going to. Steven, I appreciate that, man. That's super generous of you. Thank you. Alright, what level are these guys? Level 9. Okay. It's not bad. I like elixirs. Like, I love having the elixirs and feeling like a witcher, you know? Okay, are they gonna save me? I don't know. I don't know if they'll save me. They make me feel better. Yeah, exactly. Professions are part of the fun. One more thing to do. Yes, that's how I approach it. Like, I don't know that alchemy is ever really going to save my life, but I kind of have fun doing it. I have fun having the elixirs and having all the bonuses to my stats and stuff. I really enjoy that. Where can we find Sargeras' sword? Is there any kind of quest that leads us there? What sword? What sword? I don't know about any sword. You guys know about any sword? See, no one knows. I don't know. I don't know about any sword. I never saw a sword. You want continuity and for things to make sense and have follow through? Wrong game, yeah. There's lots of awesome things about World of Warcraft, but plot continuity and storyline follow through doesn't really exist. Like, you'd think a huge sword plunged into the planet would be some shit that we would have to deal with. But we do not deal with it because there is no sword. Illidan couldn't stay. He needed to fly off with the Titans so that the next time we see Illidan, he comes back on a spaceship full of dead Titans. And he's like, look, guys, there's something you need to know about the Titans. And we'd be like, oh, we already found out. And he'd be like, oh, good, because I killed them all. And now we have bigger problems. That's why Illidan had to go. And like somewhere out there, like Illidan's going to meet Medivh. Because Medivh is out there somewhere too in the Great Dark Beyond. Like still doing stuff, you know. So I want to see an Illidan Medivh team up. And I want all the Titans to be killed off, because at this point in the lore, you might as well just kill off the Titans. It'd be fun, so we might as well do it for the fun factor. Because we're sure as hell not doing anything for the continuity or sake of the story and good storytelling, so we might as well just do really fun, big moments. Yeah, they will bring back Illidan. You don't send the dude off into space on a spaceship with all the Titans never to bring him back. Now, did they know what they were going to use him for when they fired him off into space? No, absolutely not. They don't know what they're doing with their story. They had no idea what they're going to do with Illidan when they fired him off into space, but they probably have an idea now. They probably have an idea what they're going to do with Illidan now. Same thing with Medivh. When they put Medivh out there, they didn't really know what they were... Xalatath is out there. Like, they don't always know what they're going to do with these things. It's called seeding. Blizzard is not good at telling a coherent, cohesive narrative that goes from point A to point B. They're good at seeding stuff into the world that they can simply use later for, like, a plot moment. And so when they fire people off into the Great Dark Beyond, they're seeding the potential of the future storylines that they might use those characters for. He will come back with Sargeras as his bestie. Yeah, I think that no matter what he does, it involves the Titans that we know being dead at that point. Yeah, either he killed them, he found something out about their true nature that he was not on board with, or something like that. Because he flew away on that ship with all of them. They were all there. And Illidan just seemed like he was ready to destroy all of them anyway. Like, I know that his beef was mainly with Sargeras, but... yeah. After the Naru tried to take Illidan over, I'm pretty sure he realized that like all of the entities that embody a cosmic force don't care about life the way that living things care about life. The people who embody cosmic forces, like the Titans or the Naru, they only care about furthering the agenda of the power that they embody. So the Titans only care about ordering stuff. And Light only cares about destroying Void and like removing like all difference from the universe and making everything uniform, like a uniform whiteness, a uniform light. And so I think Illidan knows that stuff at this point. And I don't think he would like continue to be a friend of the Titans. Just like he like busted that Naru because he was like, no, this is not okay. Yeah, I would rather them go back to having those big action moments with their characters and doing them in a good way like they did in Legion. And I'd rather have them go back to that kind of storytelling than try to like weave these like narratives where the characters like talk at each other for 20 minutes about their daddy issues. Like I would rather see Illidan killing some Titans because he's angry than listen to Sibelion and our boy talk about their dad. Like, it's fine. Like, it's fine, but I like as an A plot, it's not Warcraft. Following this discussion is like coming in at season 6 of Buffy. Comparing the WoW storytelling to something like Buffy is actually really good. Yeah, like, because it's like writing for the moment, writing for the next big thing, like writing week to week, writing season to season. I think comparing like the WoW narrative to Buffy the Vampire Slayer is actually not a bad comparison to make. As far as like the types of stories told and like how those stories are created, concocted, and like built over time. Yeah. Yeah, we'll never see another WoW movie. Yeah, not a live action one at least. One day they'll realize they have an awesome CG studio, and they'll just make a Warcraft movie that actually looks like Warcraft and uses like the CG studio that they use to make the amazing Saurfang cutscenes. Like, where's that movie? Where's the movie that looks like all the Saurfang cutscenes? I would watch 2.5 hours of that. Mm-hmm. Have we procced Overpower even a single time? I don't know if I've... Maybe I'm just playing and hitting it. I'm not thinking about it, but I don't think I've seen it proc. The Saurfang cutscenes? Yeah, the Battle for Azeroth cutscenes with Saurfang. Like, all of his story that was told through the cutscenes in Battle for Azeroth, starting with, like, the opening cutscenes. Yeah, they need to do a movie with that studio. Like, that's how they need to make the Warcraft movies. They need to make them look like the cinematics we see that they make for the game. Yeah, they need a solid CG. If they ever do a movie again, it'll have to be a CG movie. I don't think anybody has any interest in seeing like another crappy live-action Warcraft movie. Don't get me wrong. The Warcraft movie was a fun action movie to watch. It was a fun action movie to watch, but it wasn't a good Warcraft movie. And it seems so under budget. And if they'd have done it in CG, it would not have seemed under budget. It would have seemed amazing. But because they had to create real sets, and they had to create real armor, and they had to create real outfits, and they had to use real actors... It looked all like just under budget and bad. But it was a decent, fun action movie. If you just want some fantasy action, it was okay. Basically every cinematic that they've made has been good, you know? That's what was really astounding to me when they chose to go live action with it. Maybe they thought that would have they probably thought it would have a bigger mass appeal to people that weren't necessarily Warcraft players, which might have been true. It might have had more appeal, but it was bad, so something can have more appeal but then not be as good as the thing that would have had less appeal but could have been amazing. And if it was amazing, that would have spread the appeal. Like if they would have made an amazing CG movie, like maybe their week one wouldn't have been as good, but like once it got out that it was absolutely astounding, like then it would have been better, you know. Lord of the Rings. We gotta do it like Lord of the Rings did it. Yeah. Yeah, no one wants that. And they didn't do it how Lord of the Rings did it, because Lord of the Rings told a really big story that was already an established narrative. And they did it over the course of 3 very, very, very long movies. Whereas the Warcraft movie was like an hour and 48 minutes long. And therein is the reason why I don't like movies, and why I don't like TV shows, is like... movies especially, like, you have a very short amount of time to tell a story in. You have a very short amount of time to show the world. You have a very short amount of time to develop the characters. You have about, at most, you have 2 hours and 38 minutes after editing to tell your story, express your characters, and go through the story. You know, unless you want to do a trilogy. Like, of course you want to do a trilogy, but are you going to be able to do that trilogy? Probably not in today's climate. Yeah, like, I'm sure they wanted a trilogy, right. To do a trilogy, you have to really take your time on the first one, and you have to make it absolutely amazing. You can't make a mediocre action movie and expect there to be a trilogy about it, you know? No one cares. Aaron, I agree that video games and books. Video games and books are the best medium for, like, long-form, big, epic storytelling. Because you get so much time. You can have so much time in the world with the characters, with the story. Is that if you want long-form stories, you have to find some good books. I would recommend Brandon Sanderson to basically any human being who can read. And you have to have time. So books and games. But like a 2.5 hour movie, I can't be bothered to care. But I would say don't read Sanderson unless you want to ruin every other book and story, because once you read a bunch of Sanderson, everything else is kind of going to disappoint you. Nothing else is going to be as good. Once you've read the first Mistborn trilogy and you've read a couple of the Stormlight Archive books, like nothing else is going to be as good. I did that to myself. I've basically ruined all other long form stories for myself because I've been reading the Cosmere books. But I'm actually okay with it. Yeah. Yeah, the first Mistborn trilogy is amazing. You'll know after the first book if it's for you or not. But I mean, I feel like, especially if you're a reader of fantasy books, if you've read lots of fantasy at any point in your life, and you read the first Mistborn book, you're probably gonna get hooked. Especially once you find out that almost all of Sanderson's books are in the same universe, and they're just happening on different planets. And they're all connected with this big backstory. And eventually, the characters from these different planets are going to overlap at some point and get to meet each other, and it's going to be amazing. But yeah, but when you have one person controlling a narrative, you get to see the real narrative. When the narrative depends on one person's creativity, you'll get to see it play out. When a narrative depends on a bunch of actors and a bunch of Hollywood writers, and it depends on modern events, and it depends on what the people post on social media, and it depends on what they want to do with their careers, you're never going to see a good, cohesive story play out, because shit is going to be too chaotic. The only solid stories you're going to see play out is like a novel, a book series, a big long RPG that's like a one-off, you know, like. Otherwise, you're going to see incoherent stories that are either too short or stretch out into oblivion and confusion. There are these 10 fast, yeah, and like, what story do you derive out of those? Like, there are movies that are meant to be fun to watch, you know what I mean? There are movies and TV shows that are not meant to tell a great story, that are not meant to have amazing character development. They're just meant to be fun to watch. Back in the day, like in the 80s and 90s, that's really all movies were meant to do. They tell maybe an interesting story, and it's just fun to watch. And then it ends, you know, it doesn't have to have 17 sequels. It doesn't have to be the MCU where they make 500 effing movies. And they expect you to care about every single one of them. And if you don't watch every single MCU movie, you're just not going to know what's going on in the MCU. Like, okay, cool, then I don't want to know because a lot of the movies are garbage. And so if I have to watch all your garbage to know what's going on, then I won't do it. Stop making garbage. Make it better, or don't make it. Make it better, or don't make it. The 9th best movie, they went to space. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Don't tell me that's real. I hope it is, but I don't want to hear it. Oh, God. Tyler, you just finished Way of Kings? Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, you're thoroughly sucked in then. If you haven't read any of the Mistborn books, though, I would say you might want to check out the first Mistborn trilogy before you read too much more of the Stormlight Archive. You don't have to. Like you can enjoy the Stormlight books, and you don't have to read any other books in the Cosmere. But the Mistborn books are really, really good. They're really easy to read because his writing style is really amazing, and they portray like another super unique world with a really, 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 really good magic system. Illidan comes back in the 11th Fast movie with a Titan, yeah. A Titan that transforms into a car because he also went to the planet of Cybertron and he met the Autobots. That would have been good. A Fast and the Furious Transformers crossover. Why has no one thought of this? I would love to see like Vin Diesel and The Rock in just a big stupid Transformers movie. Yeah. Why has no one thought of this yet? Someone has to think of it. I'd watch the shit out of it. It'd be really bad, but I would watch it. I'm in.
Be careful.
Yep, I'm in. Make sure like Vin Diesel gets like a mech suit, like in the anime Transformers, how they had those mech suits that could transform the humans into like motorcycle suits. Yeah, I think that there's potential for this. And I need to see it happen. Best way, it'll be the best worst movie ever made. Yeah, I don't know why there isn't a Fast and the Furious Transformers crossover. It makes perfect sense. Why has this not been done? Alright, we need to find the Lost Guards. Let's go back and we'll talk to Guard Thomas first. And you know what? Let's not go talk to Guard Thomas first. Let's just go find the Lost Guard here. Half-eaten body. Great. And we'll go into the Jasperlode mine and get that scouted. Then we'll come back and get the other body. Let's do it that way. Yeah, I think this is the story idea that will get some of the writers to come back from the Hollywood strike. Like we have to get this idea out there. A multiverse with multiple Vin Diesels. Yeah, from different Vin Diesel movies. The pacifier meets the witch hunter like type deal, like. Someone's not looting. Someone is not looting, and it is super, super rude of them to not loot. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I think that movies, especially like big Hollywood movies, are just in a really bad state. If there's an actor strike or something, I'm kind of relieved. If they can just take a little bit of time off and stop pumping out hot garbage into the pop culture, like, that would be fine with me. I think they need a long break. Maybe they can all like analyze their lives and maybe go do something more useful with their time and money. I would be fine if like no more big Hollywood movies were ever made. It would not negatively impact my life at all. It would probably make the world a better place. I feel like especially it's not profitable for people to make really good, really unique movies anymore. Everything that they want to spend money on, it has to be based off a book, it has to be a remake, it has to be part of a fucking 27-part movie series that'll never get finished. It has to be about superheroes, it has to be about fucking blue aliens. Like, they don't make a lot of, like, actually good, actually unique movies anymore. But then the Rotten Tomatoes critics would not be employed. Do the Rotten Tomatoes critics make money? I thought that was just something they did as like as a side thing. You know, just write some reviews, give an arbitrary score. It's hard to believe people make money off of writing bullshit movie reviews. I probably should have got into that instead of writing training materials. I could crank out some fluff. Shit, these days I'll have chat GDP, like GPT. I'll have the chat AI. I never get the letters right. I'll have the chat AI write some stuff for me that'll be absolutely amazing. So, like, do we even need them? We can just tell the AI, say, write me a medium review that has positive and negative parts about this movie, and then it'll do it for you. It's fine, it's already written. Yeah, Tim, that's absolutely right. They sound like ChatGPT. They probably are now. You know what I mean? They probably are now. I don't know why they wouldn't be. Yeah, I thought Rotten Tomatoes was kind of like OpenCritic or like Metacritic, where like it pulls reviews from like random places and aggregates like a score, and then there's like a user score. Guardians of the Galaxy 12 was amazing. Yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy movies were funny, and they were fun. And that's like a movie that I don't mind watching something if it's just like sheer fun. But you know, those movies also do the MCU shit where they want you to care like about the characters, and they want you to be like emotionally attached to their plight and stuff, and I just don't give a shit. I can't make myself care. If it's fun to watch, then that's fine, but like I'm never gonna care about the characters. I'm never gonna care about what happens in the universe. I don't care when they kill characters off. I didn't care when Iron Man died. Like, I just don't give a crap. The characters don't mean enough to me. And I'm someone who, like, when those movies first came out, I watched the MCU movies from when they first started coming out. But eventually it was bloat. It just got so effing bloated. One day I looked up and there were like 7 MCU movies that I hadn't seen and had no interest in watching. And then it's like, oh, in order to know anything that's going on, I have to watch a bunch of garbage. I don't want that. It's like for like Brandon Sanderson's books. I don't have to read a bunch of bad books to like read the good Brandon Sanderson books. So I don't know why I should have to watch a bunch of bad MCU movies to like keep watching the MCU. It sucks. Oh shit, spoilers. Yeah, Jason, like 12 years ago they killed him off. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sure you were gonna watch that one eventually. I'm sure it was like on your hot list of stuff to watch. I'm sorry I spoiled it for you. At this point, if you haven't watched it, you were never gonna. Yeah. Alright, what am I doing over here? We got the mine scouted. Alright, let's go talk. No, we're not talking to Guard Thomas. We're going over here. We're getting Rolf Spotty. Then we can go talk to Guard Thomas. Oh, hello there. Yeah, Alex, Endgame was the end game for me. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if I really liked the last 2 Avengers movies, but for me, like, I at least finished that storyline, and like when I did, I had zero compulsion to engage in the universe any further. I had zero compulsion to engage in it any further. Rezero, good afternoon, man. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, it was a sufficient ending. Yes, exactly. And I didn't feel like it needed to keep going. I didn't want to watch any of the other movies. I'm not interested in the martial arts guy. I'm not interested in Black Widow's backstory because she's dead. I'm not interested in, like, really Doctor Strange that much. Like, I don't care. Like, and so, like, and I thought, like, maybe I'd go back and I'd watch another Avengers movie, but I can't because they're gonna have told so much story between, like, now and the next Avengers movie that if I don't know all that bullshit, it's gonna make less sense. But yeah, the Eternals, I can't be bothered to care. All those movies that were just, they weren't great. They weren't great movies, but they had to crank them out because they had to get those characters introduced for later plot lines. Like, you could tell they were just cranking out the movies to get the characters into the universe, and like they just weren't great movies. You've fallen asleep to Doctor Strange, both movies, twice each. Yeah. The Ant-Man movies, like, oh, come on, give me a break. So that guy's kind of funny, but like, I don't care. I don't need comedy in my MCU that much. So like, I'm not going to watch Ant-Man or Ant-Man 2 or Ant-Man 3. I don't care that like there's some big thing that happens in the little quantum verse. Like, I can't be bothered. Yeah, Eternals, lots of characters, little depth. Yeah, that's what it kind of seemed like. But I'm sure there's one scene in there or one character that's pertinent to like future MCU movies that if you didn't see it, you don't know about it, like something at some point's not going to make sense to you. They really demand that you engage with every single one of their mediocre movies in order to have any eventual payoff. And I won't do that. Yeah, I think I watched the very first Ant-Man movie when it came out. And that was like the first MCU movie that I watched, and I was like, huh. So they're going to be making movies that aren't very good. Like, that was where I learned that lesson. That there were definitely going to be ones that I wasn't interested in any way, shape, or form. I think a lot of the mediocre movies probably would have been better as like short-run TV shows. Yeah, absolutely. Zoem, good afternoon, man. Thanks for stopping by. They retroactively decided that some people weren't actually themselves because of the scroll plot. Yeah, like wasn't Fury one for a while or something? Like, yeah, that was like right where that stuff started to come in. That's when I started to like mentally detach. Because when you have mechanics like that, when you have a mechanic in your story where you can at any time go back and say, oh, this person, they weren't themselves. They were a scroll. And we know we killed them off, but we didn't kill the real one off. Yeah, whenever you can do that, that's like such lazy fucking storytelling. When you devise a plot mechanic to get yourself out of any plots you wrote that you don't like, that's lazy storytelling. Like when you're like, we did a bunch of stuff, but let's have a mechanic in the universe that we can undo anything we want by saying that the person that we did that with wasn't really themselves. So fucking lazy. It's like admitting that they don't have foresight in their own stories. That's all that it is. It's admitting that they don't have any actual foresight, that they can't plan them out that far into the future, that they write it from movie to movie and the plot shifts and changes. That's all that it is. When you have to have a mechanic like that, it's an admission of incompetence as a writer. Yeah, people really hated that we killed off this person. Let's just say that they were an alien or a lizard person or something. Yeah. Yeah. It's starting to turn into the X-Men universe where there's zero continuity. Like the X-Men movies. The X-Men movies are so sad. When I grew up, I loved X-Men. Like, I didn't know who the Avengers were as a kid. I didn't give a shit about the Avengers. When I grew up on the 90s X-Men cartoon. And the 90s X-Men cartoon was amazing, and that got me into comic books. It got me into X-Men comic books. So, like, I never really cared about the Avengers. And unfortunately, Fox owned X-Men for a long time, and they made a bunch of really mediocre X-Men movies. And I don't know if we'll ever get a good X-Men movie. Logan was the best of those? I can't remember Logan from Old Man Logan, from Wolverine, from Wolverine 2, from Wolverine 3, from X-Men 2, from X-Men 3. Like, every X-Men movie they made, to me, was a Wolverine movie. Like, that was the weird thing. Is like, they made some... Even, like, the only one that wasn't a Wolverine movie at first was X-Men First Class. But even in those movies, they put Wolverine into them eventually. Because Wolverine was the only thing those movies had going. And so, like, every single X-Men movie Fox made it was basically a Wolverine movie. It's crazy. Hugh Jackman did carry the series. Yeah, he played a really good Wolverine. Absolutely. Yeah, like, were the movies themselves any good? Nah. Nah, they weren't. First Class was interesting. I liked First Class. I don't think I liked any of the subsequent movies that they made with those characters, but seeing Magneto and seeing Xavier portrayed the way they did, I thought that was intriguing. I liked seeing that version of Magneto where, like, you could see that he could have been an ally, but you also come to understand, like, why he was never going to be an ally. Yeah, I really liked some of those scenes in X-Men First Class. And that was, like, I think that was the only one that Hugh Jackman was not in. It didn't play, like, any kind of prominent role in it.
Looking for something specific? See you later.
Is there, like, a cooking fire or any kind of open fire that I can do some cooking at around here? Probably not. Yeah, but even though they were all great actors, I feel like those movies, and I didn't watch all of them. I watched the... Which one did I watch? I watched the time travel-y one. That was weird and unwanted and unwelcome. Yeah, I don't think I really particularly liked any of them, despite the fact that they were all great actors. I just didn't feel like the stories being told were like the X-Men stories that I wanted to hear about. Throughout the movies, like, if you, like, yeah, I guess you have to count the First Class movies as, like, separate than the original ones, but not really. Like, they're still technically part of the same universe. We got two Dark Phoenix plot lines, like, two different Dark Phoenix plot lines over time. Both of the plot lines were bad and not well done. YouTube just recommended you a 12-hour-long retrospective on Oblivion. Someone spent 12 hours making a retrospective on Oblivion. That is insane. It's insane to think that you would need 12 hours to have a retrospective on it. I feel like a few hours might have been sufficient.
King's honor, friend. Be careful.
All right, let's go get the red linen bandanas. And we'll think about Princess. What do you guys think about Princess? Probably not, huh? Probably not Princess? What level should we try Princess? If not level 12, then when? Maybe like level 14. Was Days of Future Past the time travel-y one where like Apocalypse was in it? I can't remember. The last couple, I know one of them was about Dark Phoenix. Yeah, I wanted those movies to be good because I liked First Class. So I wanted them all to be good, but I don't feel like I thought they were all good once I watched them. Yeah, I'd love for there to be like a new X-Men movie. I want it to be based off the 90s cartoon though. That's the only way it works for me. I want their outfits to look like they did in the 90s cartoon. I want the characters to be ridden that way. Like, that's the only way it works for me. The Apocalypse is the later one right before. Oh god, how many did they make? How many did they make with Fassbender and James McAvoy? How many of those did they make? 4 of them? I feel like they cranked out more of those movies than I was aware of. Yep, I grew up on X-Men and Spider-Man, and like both of those IPs have been given like not the best and like some weird treatment over time. I hated all the Spider-Man reboots. All the Spider-Man reboots ruined Spider-Man movies for me. I just don't give a shit about Spider-Man movies anymore because they've swapped it out and rebooted it so many times in my life. There's 10 X-Men movies overall. Yeah, some of those there's no way that I watched. Some of those there's just no way that I watched then. I don't know. Yeah, the 90s era's X-Men and Spider-Man cartoons were both effing amazing, especially for a cartoon. Like, the kinds of stories that were told, like, were better than most TV and movies nowadays. Yeah, it's like, they were really good. And, but the movies have not been so good to me. Because the cartoons gave me higher expectations than the movies were able to live up to for some reason. Like, figure that out. How does a 90s cartoon give you higher expectations than a movie is actually able to execute on? Oh yeah, the Batman series were good. A few of them were good. Again, the Batman cartoon, much better than like any of the Batman movies that have been made. Oh no! we've got serious problems. Serious problems. We can lease these guys. We're fine. So I can't charge that guy. That pulls the whole house. Oh, we got a respawn coming in. Let's go this way. There we go. We're fine. I don't think I'm going to try Princess. The only way I'm going to try Princess is if we get her without her entourage. Like, if she respawns and we can just kill her, or if the entourage respawns first, we can kill the entourage, but they do a charge that, like, stuns you for a minute or something, and I'm not really feeling it. I'd rather not lose another character to Princess. We lost a Paladin way back in the day to Princess. And I don't want to repeat. Yeah, Zome, I don't have any ranged weapons. Yeah. Yeah, I think the entourage was level 9. At level 12, I don't... Oh, look, somebody's pulling her. What level are you? You are level 9, which means you are probably going to die. You are getting help from a hunter, so you are probably going to be fine. I don't know if I can get involved with this. Maybe I can now. Okay. Yeah, that was a safe time to help. I'm fine helping this person. That, you know, they probably should have died because they did a really silly thing, but that's fine. But I'm gonna skin Princess though. Alex, you saw somebody get killed doing the warrior quest, where you go into the alley and you have to, like, fight the guy. You don't even have to kill those guys, right? Don't you just fight them down to, like, a little bit of their health left and they give up? That would suck. It would suck to get killed in Stormwind by the guys who eventually give up if you get them low enough. Because, yeah, I don't think you kill those guys. That's really sad. Yeah. Okay. No, she's got the full entourage again. Damn it. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. It's not worth it, right? There's no way. Without a heal button, I got 2 potions. You know, is the potion gonna keep us alive? Probably not. I'm not gonna do it. Let's body pull this guy so we don't pull the house. There we go. Bloodmoon, you lost your warrior to level 12 to Princess? Yeah, I mean, I lost a level 9 Paladin. I'm not sure why I thought at level 9 that was going to be like what I did, but it was a really stupid moment that I had. Yeah, you'd think almost like level 12 could do it, but as a warrior, I feel like you can't heal. You got nothing. You don't have any cooldowns yet, so you can't even pop Recklessness. And without like a button to press to make us stronger or make us buffer, I don't really feel comfortable taking on 3 enemies. And it seems like today they're all spawning back in together. Sometimes you can get it where it's only Princess. And that's fine, but that's not the case today. Yeah, for the sake of hardcore, you'd wish it was like a higher level quest, but like, you know, imagining that like in the normal mode of the game, like if you die, it's not a big deal. It's like, yeah, what's the quest? Is it level... Oh, yeah, it's level 9. Yeah, if it was like level 11, that would make more sense for this. I wonder if I could... No, because they charge. Yeah, that's the, like, usually I'd say like we could kill them and kite them and leash them. Like we can kill 1, leash the 2, come back, but they charge. And then they stun you, and then they charge you again. And then they're dealing a bunch of damage to you, so like, yeah, ultimately probably not worth trying it. You gotta add them all up, and then you gotta subtract your character level. So what's 23 minus 12? 11, 13, something like that. Yeah, add them all up, and then minus your character level. Then that's how we do it, right? It seems like a pretty good formula. Bloodmoon, that's exactly what happened on my Paladin. Like, I went in, I tried to like kite them and like just keep one of them. They kept charging me, and then we died like somewhere right over here. We didn't get very far. It was really sad. These guys over here, man, they're hyper spawning. They're back, and then they're dead. Then they come back, and then they're dead. Now they just need to start dropping some of the quest items. Did you guys see that hunter shoot this guy? Did you see that hunter shoot this guy? While he was training away the entourage? The only reason for him to bother hitting these guys would be to get me on his aggro chain. That was the only reason he did it. He just went, oh, that guy's in combat, I'm training these two guys. Bop, bop, now we're on the same aggro chain. Maybe they'll go after him instead of me. Yeah, he leashed them, like he did leash them, but he shot my guy to get me on his aggro chain, just in case he couldn't leash them. I don't like that kind of shit. If you've got a train of enemies following you, do not touch my enemies. If you touch my enemies, I think you're kind of trying to low-key grief me. I think if you have a train of enemies on you and you shoot one of mine, you're trying to low-key grief me. No fucking question about it. There's no reason to do that, because you're not helping. You've got your own problems. I don't need your help. You're not helping, so you're trying to help yourself or something. Like, I didn't like that. I'm gonna stay away from that guy. No, yeah, he's just, I think, he knew what he was doing. Like, he absolutely knew what he was doing. You don't turn mid, backpedal, target, and shoot somebody else's enemies when you don't know what you're doing or how aggro works. You don't do it. He shouldn't, but he shouldn't have been targeting any Defias at that point. He had Princess's entourage chasing him out of the field. He shouldn't have been trying to target. He turned, he looked at us, he targeted our guy, and he fired a shot at it. Yeah, there was no reason for him to be targeting anybody else for himself, because he already had a big problem. And the only reason to shoot somebody else's mob in that scenario is to get them on your aggro chain. That's it. He was running away. Like, he wasn't running to help us. He wasn't trying to pull Defias guys. He was running from 3 boars that were trying to kill him. And he turned towards us and he shot while we were attacking, seeing that we were already fighting 2 guys even. Like, yeah, and we were doing fine. They were both dead. Yep. we'll just I don't see him now. He's not around. It was a gray-haired dwarf hunter. I'm assuming if everything in here is dead, the only thing in the chest is going to be garbage. But let's take a look. Yeah, I mean basically garbage. Alex, keep the silver bar, like as opposed to vendoring it? What are we gonna do with it? I want to see if this guy does it. Oh, is he looting Princess and he's just gonna try to run away? Oh, this dude's lagged out. This dude's in trouble. You guys see what's happening here, right? He's in trouble. He can handle himself. I'm not gonna bother with it. He chose to pull Princess at level 11. He looks like he's gonna deal with it just fine. So we could probably do it. Yeah, like he just did it. I don't know if he had any help. No, she healed him now, but he wasn't getting heals. I feel like if he did it, we could probably do it. Tremendous HD. Good afternoon, my friend. Thanks for being here. I might need it later on for an Oldemon quest. Okay. I'll just put it in the bank. And then if we get any more, we'll put them in the bank. Yeah, lots of people here farming this. This is another bottleneck. It's another bottleneck because the drop rate for this is not good. So everyone kind of bottlenecks here for a bit. And there aren't a lot of enemies. It doesn't really spawn a lot of Defias. Tremendous. This is Bloodsail Buccaneers. Yeah, this is not PTR. It is still pretty full. Despite Blizzard trying to kill hardcore, despite Blizzard now offering free character transfers off of Bloodsail Buccaneers, there are still a lot of people who actually care about the game type, and we're still playing. Yeah, despite Blizzard's best efforts to kill hardcore, there are still lots of people playing. We got 39 people here at 1 p.m. in the afternoon on a day. A Wednesday? Is it Wednesday today? Yeah, so yeah, still people playing. It's good to see. Absolutely. Jackie, good afternoon. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, we've got all the linen that we need. I would take a shot at Princess. I think she just got killed though. Maybe we just wait. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna matter too much whether we do it now or we wait until later. I do want to get down to the farm, and I want to get this turned in before we outlevel it. So let's head over to the west, and we'll probably just fight some stuff on the way. What do you guys think about parking it at the Goldshire Inn and switching over to the Paladin for a bit and grinding some of his rested out? Are we like super into the warrior right now, or do we want to spend some time on the Pally? I could go either way with it. Jacob, the Warlock I just was not enjoying, so I deleted it. I didn't get it killed off or anything dramatic like that. I just wasn't having fun playing the class, so I deleted him. Warrior, yeah. I get the excitement about the Warrior because it's new, you know. I kind of feel the same way right now. Like I tell myself like, yeah, I can get on the Paladin for a bit, but I'm kind of really excited to be on the Warrior and I'm having a lot of fun. So maybe we just do that. I feel like going on the Warrior. I just wanted to see if there was like a lot of sentiment like nestled secretly out there to see the Paladin, you know. Yeah, that was just a probe to see if like nestled in your minds if anybody like out there really just wanted to see the Paladin and was wondering why the hell I'm on this level 12. Because this is what I would like to do. I'm having a lot of fun. Auntie, go do Hogger. You're trying to get me killed, man? You're trying to get me killed. Yeah, Alex, typically I do, and it's like, it's not that I don't want to play the Paladin, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I want to play the Paladin, because like, I want to continue leveling it, obviously. I want to make progress, but, like, am I more excited to play the Warrior right now? Yeah, absolutely. The Warrior is always going to be, like, a funner class to play. Like, when we went Paladin, and like this time on the Paladin, we know that the Paladin is a slow class. That's just kind of the nature of it. Especially when you can't get like awesome weapons, and you're just stuck with like crappy weapons the entire playthrough. It becomes really slow. We might eventually have the same problem on the Warrior. We might get to a point where we can't get any good weapons. The difference is we're going to do some dungeons. So we should be able to get some weapons at some point. Even if it's not like everything we could have hoped for. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, maybe we'll just take a look. I don't know if I'll play much on him today, but yeah, we can take a look. I'm probably going to take like a few minute break here pretty soon, stretch my legs, get some more coffee, maybe a snack. My wife and son are out of the house today, so no one's going to bring me magical, delicious food. If I want to eat, I'm going to have to fend for myself a little bit. And the thing with the Pally is, like, when we get back on the Pally, we're going to have to grind somewhere. We're not going to be questing. We are going to be finding, like, a little cozy grind spot and just killing enemies for a long time. It's not glorious, but at this point, it's what needs to happen. Yeah, we're doing herbalism and skinning right now. Eventually, we're going to drop skinning, and we're going to grab alchemy. I'm putting all the herbs in the bank. So I'm selling the leather for money, and I'm putting the herbs in the bank. And that was Alex's plan. He tipped me off to how I should do this, to like have money early game, but then like, you know, be able to do alchemy a little bit later. Which is not something I'm smart enough to have come up with on my own. On my own, I would have immediately ran herbalism alchemy, and we would have no silver. We'd be perpetually broke, and I'd be complaining about why, you know. How many of you guys have any hype or care at all about Baldur's Gate 3? We could try that, Alex. I feel like, honestly, on the Paladin, because of like the shitty weapon that we have, I feel like even when I'm fighting green mobs, I'm still going through my rotation enough to burn like half my mana. It's not a great feeling. Red Robin, you didn't know about it? Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 looks like it's going to be an amazing game. If you're into like big choice-driven RPGs where like your choices really affect the story, the characters, the outcomes, the plot, Baldur's Gate 3 looks like it's going to be absolutely groundbreakingly amazing. And I'm definitely going to be playing the heck out of it when it comes out on August 3rd. So I'm kind of trying to gauge like people's interest in it. Ultimately, it's not really going to matter too much, because if the game is anywhere near as good as it seems like it's going to be, I'm going to play the crap out of it anyway. But yeah, I'm just kind of throwing it out there. If you guys are interested in big RPGs with like solid fantasy, like big class, like the classes look so amazing, and like they personify the class fantasy that I want in my RPGs. Blood Moon, thank you so much. That's super generous of you. Thank you.
What can I do for you? Go with honor, friend. Well met. For the Alliance.
But yeah, August 3rd. And like for sure, I'm going to do an immersive run. And I was thinking, since it's such a big game and there's going to be like so many moral choices, so many choices on like what characters we recruit, what characters we leave, what characters we kill, that I was contemplating doing like an evening stream of a second alternate run. Like having an immersive run where we do one thing and we play a certain class and we make our party a certain way. And then doing another playthrough in a stream where we do the opposite stuff, kind of. We pick a different class, we have different companions, and we pick different choices in the story. Apparently the game has an absurd amount of potential endings, so I don't know. I've been really hype about it, and I don't get hype about things. I don't remember the last time I was actually hype about a game. But Baldur's Gate 3 got me. I hope it doesn't let me down. I don't think it will, but I'm definitely hyped for it.
See you later.
And like, it feels good to be excited about something. Something that's not World of Warcraft related. I felt for a long time that I'd love to have another game to love. I'd love to have another game with like infinite replay value, you know? But yeah, we'll see. Guys, I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to go stretch my legs. I'm going to get a little bit more coffee. I'm going to eat a yogurt. And then I am going to be back. And if you guys can stick around, that'd be awesome. If you got to go, I definitely understand. And thank you for being here. I'll be back in 5. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Alright, really quick, let's check the Paladin. I just want to check and see how much rested he has. Let's take a look. Santi, good afternoon. Intergalactic, good afternoon to you. We have the rest of the level, so yeah, that's good. Like, whenever we want to, we can come get level 47. And we're in a good zone for it, so yeah. Dizzlin, I'm good. Thanks for being here. But that being said, I think we're going to continue... We'll continue on the warrior for today, I think. Yeah, let's keep going with that. Absolutely.
What can I do for you? Safe travels.
Monica, you asked, is it like Fable? Fable is more like a single player, like, hero story, whereas in BG3 you're gonna have a party of people. So it's more like Divinity Original Sin 2 or Divinity 1, or even games like what were the other CRPGs that were really popular? Kingmaker. There's a couple other ones, but yeah, it's kind of like a CRPG. But it's more modern, like, yeah, Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. But it's a lot more modern than that. Like, it's not even really... it's not even really right to compare it to those games. And it's also based on D&D 5th edition rule set, and set in the Forgotten Realms, which is a D&D setting. My puppy is in my office, and he's sniffing at cables. And he's not a cable chewer yet. But I may have to take action here in a minute to get him out of my office. There we go, maybe he'll just hang out for a second. He's gonna try to sit in my lap now, maybe like sleep here, which is gonna like destroy my posture. I need to reorient myself. Yes, Intergalactic. He is a Jack Russell. Absolutely. He might have a little rat terrier in him too, because like Jack Russells, their ears typically fold, but his ears are definitely still pointy. So yeah, he might be a little bit of a mix, but he's definitely like full terrier. Yeah, full terrier of some mixing variety. Why is my game so bright? That might be more to do with your settings. I can show you my settings, but the game is not super bright. I actually have the gamma down a little bit, so it might be something on your end, but I'll show you what I got going on. Advanced, yeah, see my gamma is down, so... It's like, usually gamma would be like right here, which would be like super bright, but we're playing down here. So check your monitor settings. Maybe you want to put yourself into like game mode on your monitor or TV, or like some kind of different video mode. Because we shouldn't be super bright at all. Zephyr, you tried 25 warriors and you got to level 34? That's pretty good. Yeah, I haven't got to level 34. You know, this will be our second attempt at a hardcore warrior. We got to level 19 and we got killed by pillagers. Alex, have you been playing that warrior since the warlock died, or have you kind of like taken a break for a bit? Aaron, I completely agree. It's a lot better to do it in the streaming format, yeah. Yeah, I understand, like, you look at a playlist of recorded videos on YouTube and it's a hardcore playlist and you see that it ends after, like, 18 episodes. Like, you know the ending, right? Like, you already know the ending of the story. But if you're tuning in for the streams and the character's still alive, then it's like, that's probably like a better format. That was kind of what I decided when I started streaming this. I decided that like the only hardcore stuff I do will be on stream. I don't have any plans for like a hardcore immersive recorded series. Because yeah, ultimately I feel like for most people it's a lot less interesting when you already know exactly where the character stops. Alex, you checked out Wrath again for a bit. That's cool, man. Yeah, I feel like sometimes like that you had a level 58 die, so like I would sleep for a day. I don't know if I'd go back to Wrath, but I'd probably sleep a lot, and I probably would have taken at least a day off. A level 58, that's a hard one to contemplate.
Light bless you.
But it becomes so likely to die. You know what I mean? Like when you're working in the Plaguelands. At level 58, like, it becomes so much more likely to die. There's so many things that can kill you, like... That's a good point, Aaron. That's kind of why I changed the format that I'm using for like how the VODs go up on the channel and how they are sorted into playlists. I was sorting them into their character playlists for a while, but ultimately I decided it's probably best going forward just to have like one hardcore playlist, and that's just like whatever we do that day on the stream, that's the hardcore playlist.
Light be with you.
Because yeah, ultimately, like having them broken out by character like that is good for like the immersive stuff. But I don't think it comes off as well or works as well for the streams. It's kind of that's why I changed the thumbnail and I changed the playlist that we're going into now and everything like that. Yeah, Alex, I'm kind of dreading that level. I'm like telling myself that I'm not gonna do anything in the Plaguelands, but I'm not sure like if I'm gonna be able to actually avoid it.
Farewell.
That's the problem. Like, it's going to involve a lot of grinding, and we all know how much I love grinding. Yeah, we're going into improved heroic strike, and we'll do one more point there, and then we're coming down into probably improved charge. Some points in tactical mastery would be okay for when we tank. Improved thunderclap, I don't think I care about that. I die in the Plaguelands so much. You just have to look back at my Season of Mastery Warrior and how bad the Plaguelands was for me. I think that was like some of the worst time I've had playing the game. Some of the worst time I've had playing the game was during the Season of Mastery on our Human Warrior doing the Plaguelands. It was not a good time. It was, without the experience buff that I had then, like maybe we wouldn't have made it because I was having a miserable time trying to play in the Plaguelands. Knowing it was like the last leg of the journey that we just had to get through. I'm pretty sure like having to quest in the Plaguelands like killed Season of Mastery for me at that level. Like I had no interest in playing the character after that. We hit 60 and I like just immediately shelved the character. And I think it was due to the suffering that I endured in the Plaguelands. So I have no like thought that if I go into the Plaguelands that I'm not gonna die. Because experience has taught me that I'm absolutely going to get killed again and again and again. Yeah, especially in the Western Plaguelands around Stratholme, it's basically like you're going to die as much as you die in a Dark Souls game. When you're me and you're bad at Dark Souls. Yeah, Heron, exactly. All the negative emotions you build up in the Plaguelands, you get the character to 60, and then you kind of resent the character. You kind of resent them for what you've had to go through to get them to 60. That's kind of what happened with my Season of Mastery Warrior. Yep, and then I went in, I tried to do some Horde stuff on Season of Mastery after that, and then they increased the XP buff to 100%, and then that killed Season of Mastery for me. I never even transferred that warrior off to like any other server. I think for a while they were offering free transfers off of the Season of Mastery servers because obviously Season of Mastery like died. Season of Mastery died long before the season ended. I never even bothered to transfer the character off. I probably should have. It's still a level 60 classic Arrow Warrior. I guess I should put it somewhere. I'm kind of curious. Maybe I'll check that out today. Well, Alex, at least now you know, so that you know. Maybe next time on the hardcore like official servers, you get to that point again. Now you learn something. I don't know how to do any of the quests there. I remember, like, I could get killed by the quest where he has you go kill bats, because the bats daze you, and then you stumble into another bat, and then that bat dazes you, you stumble into another bat, and then you're dead. Like, I can die on even, like, the easy kill quest. Like, that's how bad I am in the Plaguelands. And, like, part of that is, like, lack of experience, because you don't often quest in the Plaguelands. Yeah, the worst thing about the Plaguelands is that there's really nothing fun about it. The area doesn't look super cool. I don't know. I don't remember the music. It's very deadly. Like, the quest writing and the quests themselves are not actually that interesting even. For like what is essentially an endgame leveling zone, the quests and stuff aren't really that interesting. Meeting Tyrion is kind of the highlight. Light's Hope Chapel. Like going to Light's Hope Chapel over in the Eastern Plaguelands, but yeah. It's not a fun area. At all. It really seemed like the last point of friction that they created in the game to get people to give up. It was the last big barrier to like getting to max levels, like you had to figure out how to get through it. Oh yeah, right, Alex. I keep forgetting that we're going to be able to group. I keep forgetting that we're going to be able to group in the hardcore servers, not just for dungeons, but just like anytime we want. How weird is that going to be? To be questing in an area with people, be, oh look, a person, right click invite. Like how weird is that going to be? It's going to almost be like playing World of Warcraft again. It's going to be super strange. Yeah, the cool thing is, yeah, it's going to be a lot more enjoyable, right? Yeah, I want to carve through the Plaguelands with a group of 5. Let's just get a group of 5, and we'll just carve through the Plaguelands, and we'll do everything in a group. I think that's the way to do it. The zone almost pushes you to do it exactly like that. Except that in real life, you know, I never had 5 people to play with to go do it that way. Even in Season of Mastery, I didn't have anybody to do that with. So, and I could have grouped if I wanted to. You wonder if they allowed parties to save dev time, like they couldn't figure out how to stop you from grouping in the open world, but not figure out how to stop you from dungeons. Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Cause you can't do it. Like you can't make it so that if I invite somebody and we're doing a dungeon, we're in the open world first. We're in the open world when the group gets made. And so what can you do, you know? You'd have to totally disable grouping, but then you can't do 5-mans. But you're supposed to be able to do 5-mans. So yeah, how do you disable grouping? You can't. Yeah, there's really nothing that they could have done with it. They could have no, I don't know. I don't. It would have taken something, you know, like if you're in a group in the open world, you go to attack an enemy and nothing happens. Like what would they have to do to stop it? You know. I think that though ultimately, like what they said is like their reasoning for not removing the auction house, their reasoning for like not disabling trading, is that they want to have those parts of the game, and like they believe those are essential parts of the game, and they didn't want to arbitrarily remove them for hardcore. Like that was basically what they said. They said at no point have we ever considered removing the ability to trade or the auction house from the game. Like that was what they said. They're not even going to think about ever doing it that way. And so I feel like the grouping might have been a similar thing, because yeah, like when you do solo self-found, you're missing a lot of components about what makes WoW WoW. You're missing a lot of things. And for a self-imposed challenge with an add-on, that's okay. But for Blizzard to make an official server that makes the game not at all feel like WoW would probably be a little weird for them. So I can kind of see why they did it how they did it. Are they gonna cut of the gold from all the auction house sales? Fair. It's a gold sink. Yep. I almost feel like the area to the south is better just a little bit for these guys. I mean, the guys up here, they're basically all 2-pulls. And there's quite a few of the ones to the south that you can pull on their own. So maybe we are going to have to head down that way. I thought maybe we could take care of it up here, but it doesn't really seem like that's going to be that easy. I'm not sure why this happens, but basically now, every single day, the game turns off my combat text. Every single day, if I want my combat text to work, I have to come in here and I have to re-enable it. Which is, it's really annoying. It's probably why I'm missing some overpower procs, because I kind of rely on it to show me, like, overpower right here, but when it's not doing it, I probably miss all the procs. Intergalactic right now, using the add-on like we are and playing on Bloodsail Buccaneers, part of the arbitrary rules is that we're not allowed to use the auction house or trade with other players. And it's to make sure that like as a hardcore player that you're not buying items or getting items from non-hardcore players. That's the main reason. It's like on Bloodsail Buccaneers, not everyone is hardcore. In fact, most people at level 60 are not hardcore players. And so the arbitrary rules are there to stop like me from being able to go to the auction house and buy awesome items for cheap from players who are not playing the hardcore challenge. Now on the official Blizz server, everybody's going to be a hardcore character, so you know, if it's on the auction house, it's because a hardcore character went out, earned it, and put it there. Alex, you think it's after the update? Yeah, I feel like it's almost every day, man. It's only, like, my video settings and stuff often get reset after, like, patches. But the combat text seems to be almost a daily thing for me. I'll have to, like, pay more attention to it, but yeah. It's like, I had it on yesterday, which, yeah, makes sense. It was maintenance day, but then, like, it's just off again today. It's super weird. I don't appreciate it. Yeah, Max, they published all the rules already for the official server. So when you die, you're just not going to be able to res. You are going to be a ghost. However, Blizzard are offering you a free transfer off of the hardcore realm. So if you die on your hardcore character... Oh, nice. But you really, really want to keep playing that character, you can take him to a non-hardcore realm and you can play there. But yeah, you won't be able to res. They've disabled the ability to res on the hardcore servers. You're just going to be a ghost. You can log in as a ghost, and like you can run around and have little ghost parties. Like they've said that's going to be a thing. This is a pretty good shield. Yeah, it kind of makes me wish we had a decent one-hander. If we get any more one-handers, we'll take the opportunity to level them up with the shield. Yeah, ghost parties. Mm-hmm. I can get a better shield from the rubberidge vendor. Well, that's sad, Alex. I was so happy with my shield. We'll hang on to it for now. We'll eventually sell it. I was sure it's not gonna. Obviously, it's not gonna last us until we do dead mines. By the time we do dead mines, we're gonna need to have a much better shield. Absolutely. It's just for the time being. If we get a one-hander, we can kind of level up those skills, though. Except for one-handed axes, which I haven't trained yet because we didn't have the money. So yeah, what's going to happen for sure is like the first really good weapon we get is going to be a one-handed axe. Yep. Well, there's my big dog. Yep, he wants me to go look at something, but I'm not going to do it. Actually, it might be my wife and son coming home. You read somewhere that you have more chance of getting an axe than a sword or mace. I believe that, Alex. I think I mentioned that yesterday, that it really felt like when we get a random weapon drop that it's usually an axe, whether it's a two-hander, a one-hander. It's usually an axe, right? I think that they made more BOE axe items than they made swords or maces, you know? When I think of all like the weapons I've gotten over time that have been like useful to me, they've all been like two-handed axes on multiple different characters over time. I can't think of a single time I got an awesome, like, blue sword to drop. And I can't really think of many maces either. Mikey, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, that was a mace, but like, yeah, it's not. When I think about it, I'm thinking about like blues and epics. When I think about blues and epics, I can't think of ever getting like a two-handed blue sword or yeah, I just like, does it exist? Is there a two-handed blue sword on the random BOE loot table, or even an epic? Because I've definitely never seen one. I do feel like we get a lot of garbage white maces. We get a lot of crap like this, you know, Carpenter's Mallet. Yes, Wolfheart, we are level 13. Yeah, I know it's probably really small if you're on like a phone or a mobile device. It's like impossible to read it. And I don't update the title of the stream like I should. There we go. Title updated. Elwyn Forest. Script, good evening to you, man. Thanks for being here. I feel like we're killing like the same 2 available Murlocs over and over again, and there just aren't a lot of pulls available here. I feel like I probably should have went down to the south a long time ago, but now we're only a couple. I also realized I let this turn gray, which was like a total mistake. We were definitely supposed to go down there before heading back out to the east. My son is here, and he would like to say hi to chat, because he's been waiting to say hi to chat for a long time. Because he's super interested in YouTube. He also wants to show off his painting that he painted today.
Yeah, it also says my name on the
That's awesome, buddy.
Bye, chat. Oh, what? Which way was supposed to look at? Bye.
You're over here. Yeah. Yeah, his birthday was like a few days ago, and he really wanted to say hi to you guys on his birthday because he's wanted to be in one of my streams for a while now. And yeah, I didn't stream on his birthday because I thought it would be better for me to spend time with him on his birthday than doing like a 3-hour stream. And then he had a little play date with one of his friends today where they went and they did this painting thing where they like sit there at a studio and they paint along with like an actual painter as he paints this thing, and he got to have himself a little post-birthday date with one of his school friends that he hasn't seen since school let out. Aaron, he's not at an age where like kids talk about what their parents do yet, I don't think. Yeah, like I meet some of his friends because we do play dates sometimes, but he's not really at that age. He turned 8 this year, so he's not at the age where like, you know, like when you're a teenager, like, oh, what do your parents do? What do your parents do? Oh, who makes more money? He's not at that age yet. Yeah. So I don't think many of his friends know what I do. And when I interact with parents, like I'm there for my kid. Like I'm not there to socialize with the parents. I'm not there to get to know the parents. I'm not there to tell them my life story. So I don't tell people about my life a lot. I'm kind of a private person. If it comes out, it comes out. But I'm not out there telling people that I play video games on YouTube. You know what I mean? You know, obviously as he gets older, like, yeah, more and more of his friends will know what I do. But also I play an old people game, so like that's not necessarily going to be very cool to a lot of kids. You know, it's cool to my son because I'm his dad. But, you know, nobody else knows what WoW is, so I think that ultimately I'll just be the old guy on YouTube, you know? Yeah, when he's a teenager, it'll be all about like what do your parents do? What kind of car do they drive? All that bullshit. Right, yeah. Yep, Aaron, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. Like I don't go out of my way to talk about myself. Most of the parents don't go out of their way to talk about themselves. So if we're on like a little play date, then we just let the kids do their thing. You know what? People go on their phones. People go on their phones when they're like hanging out with their kids and they're like hanging out with them so they can hang out with each other. They go on their phones. So I don't really go on my phone, but I will pretend to look at my phone if it means that I don't have to have conversations with somebody. I will pretend to look at my phone. A lot of times I'll read on my phone, so I have the Kindle app. And a lot of times, like when I have a hardcover, I also have the digital copy. So I'll be like, I'll try to read sometimes. But I'm definitely not trying to like start conversations about work and stuff. A Tulip, I don't support myself because I am in a union with my partner. So, yeah. She makes like a bunch more money than I do doing this. So no, don't worry. Don't worry, I probably don't make more money than you do by doing YouTube. You probably make more money than I do at your job. So no, I don't support myself. Could I support myself on what I make? Yeah, but not a family. Like, I could go live in a studio apartment, and like, if I lived in a studio apartment and I didn't have like a car payment, yeah, I could support myself. I have very minimal needs. But most people have like bigger needs than I have. So, yeah. I could support 23-year-old me. Like 23-year-old me, off of what YouTube does for me, like I could probably live by myself, you know? I wouldn't be able to afford a car payment, I don't think. And I probably wouldn't be able to have like new shoes a lot of the time. But, yeah. But the thing about it is, like, without my partner, like, without that support, I never would have been able to get to where I'm at. That's the other side of it. Like, 23-year-old me could not have done it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of like a moot point. Like, I couldn't have done it as a younger person, like. And I didn't have, like, the diligence. I didn't have, like, the work ethic. I didn't have the patience, you know, when I was younger. Deep Valley, why are you rewatching my Mage Leveling series like it's a Netflix show? Dude, I don't know, man. Which mage? Was it the hardcore mage? Because she's dead. Spoiler alert. She dies. She doesn't make it. Yeah, I missed that troll mage, man. I really loved that mage. I was just so stupid and stubborn. And I kept going back into that town hall building again and again. I've never actually watched the replay of the mage. Someday I'll go watch some of my deaths. Squishy got himself killed. Sorry, Squishy. Level 1 corpse now, buddy. Squishy, if you're out there, man, there's nothing I could have done to save you. I mean, I could have aggroed both of them for you, but it seems like you were just trying to get yourself killed, my man. I'm sorry about that. Did that guy just want to witness? I have a feeling it might be somebody in chat. But he might have wanted to die on a stream. If you're gonna die on a stream, level 1 is a good time to do it, you know? It's a good time. We are full on everything, but I also realize that we're done with the quest. That is more armor though. I want that item. Guys, it turns out Squishy's not really a hardcore character. Yeah. I know, big surprise, but have I ever been a fan of the Heroes of Might and Magic series? I'm only like vaguely aware of it. No, I've never, I don't think, yeah, no. I'm kind of aware of it, but I've never engaged with it at all. Was the Heroes of Might and Magic, was that kind of like a set up your guys like auto battle type thing where like you have a faction? Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of something different. Blood Moon, my son's name? My son's name is James. The dead guy back there, his name was Squishy. So it depends on which person you were talking about. Dead level 1 Squishy, my son's name is James. Witness me. Thank you, Blood Moon. I appreciate that. Yep, he's been asking me for a long time if he could come be on the stream. I watch Co-Carnage like on YouTube in my downtime, and he sees Co's kids like constantly come onto the stream. You know, he always has his kids on the stream, and he's like, "Can I come sit on your stream?" I'm like, like some of the language I use on my stream, I really don't think you need to be subjected to. Also, just not sure about how I feel about just kids on the internet in general, but yeah. It's fun as a one-off. It's fun as a one-off. Main hand mace could be good. A main hand sword could be good. Let's take the sword. Maybe we can level up our one-handed swords for a bit. What's that at right now? We have swords. I should have taken the mace. We're at 1 out of 65. I should have grabbed the mace. Our swords aren't actually bad. Alright. With that done, let's go ahead and we'll hearth out of here. We need to go down to the south and get this the escape turned in. Yeah, Dilson, like, you just never know, you know? And I feel like it's fine, like, for, like, a short period, but when it's, like, when it's constant and for long periods of time, it's like, no, probably not. Like, you're not going to be able just to come sit with me while I stream. You can poke your head in, maybe, but, probably not just to hang out. I skip the episodes where Ko has his kids on, I fast forward through them till the kids are gone. In full transparency. Yeah, Zephyr, if it's just watching me play, that's fine. I mean, I've had him on the other PC with him playing. We've played a little bit together, so I don't mind him playing WoW. I just don't know if I want him like sitting through the whole stream with me or hanging out for a long periods of time. And like I said, the main reason is, like I said, if my reaction is that when I see Ko's kids, I watch for a minute and then I literally fast forward until they're gone. I feel like if that's my reaction to kids on a stream, that's going to be a lot of adults' reactions to other people's kids on a stream. Is they're going to be like, oh, cool, your kids. And then 10 minutes later, they're going to be like, okay, your kids are still here. And then 15 minutes later, okay, your kids are still here. Why are your kids still here? Yeah, I feel like if that's my feeling, it's probably like some other people's feelings too.
You need something?
And so I totally get it.
Safe travels.
All right, so she's gone. I think that's it, right? We don't have to do anything else with her. Am I going pure arms this playthrough? Justin, we're going to start off as arms, but honestly, like, I never stick to just one spec if I have the time. If we live long enough, we will definitely try out Fury. We might give Prod a go. You know, we'll try different things just to kind of keep it fresh if we live for a long time. Zephyr, he popped his head on. I'm fine with him popping his head on to say hi. Like, it was his birthday. He really wanted to do it. And, like, I'm fine with that, ultimately. There's pictures of him on Facebook, so, like, it is what it is. My problem is, like, prolonged constant exposure, yeah, is, like, where I draw the line, kind of. But if he comes down into my office and he just pokes his head in and says, hey, Dad, you know, I don't really mind that. It turns out it's fine. You know, it's the reality of my life that at any moment an 8-year-old could come barging into my office on summer break and like want to talk to me or need me for something. It's like, it's just part of the reality of it. But at the same time, I'm not going to be like, hey, come sit with me for 40 minutes. He'd get bored anyway. He probably wouldn't last that long. But yeah, what I don't want him to feel like is like, I don't want him to feel like while I'm working, he absolutely, no matter what, can't come into my office. I don't want him to think about it that way. Because that's not really good, like, positive framing for what I do every day, you know?
Well met. Be careful. Can I help you?
Especially when it's something that he himself is like genuinely interested in and excited in one day having his own YouTube channel where he has lots of ideas for the content he wants to do. And yeah, he won't be streaming, obviously. But yeah.
Have a good one.
Alright, level 13 we don't need to train. We're good there.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, there's lots of weirdos, but like, weirdos are weird. You know, that's fine. There's lots of weirdos, and like, it's through a computer screen. You know, there's like, I can't control everything in life, but I feel like him popping onto a stream every once in a while is like a relatively safe environment. It's about as safe as environments get these days when it comes to that. Like, it's not like I'm plopping him down into like an online game and letting him type and chat with strangers and stuff, you know? And a lot of parents let their kids do that kind of shit every day. There's parents who don't even understand like how online games work, or that games that are online have chat, and they let their kids play games like Roblox and stuff like that, where they're on a server and they're actively communicating with people that they don't know. And there are tons and tons and tons of parents who like let their kids do that every day, and they don't have any idea what kind of words or text or people their kids are being exposed to. And I don't let my kid engage with those games. My kid doesn't play online games. WoW is the only online game he has ever logged into, and when he logs in, just like my immersion mode tab that I usually have, every single chat from every other player, every single thing a player says is hidden. He'll never see anything a player says, and he doesn't even know how to type anyway, because he could barely write right now. So yeah, I create the most safe environment I can when it comes to like the games he plays and his exposure to the internet and stuff. Without that control being like absolutely stifling, you know. Level 13, we don't have Princess's Collar. We have Westbrook Garrison needs help. We could definitely go do that. But the thing is, guys, I am looking at a plate of egg rolls, and I am looking at a pickle, and I really want to eat. And I think I'm gonna take a break here for today. I think I'm gonna park it here. We are 3 hours and 45 minutes in. It doesn't feel like we've been at it for that long, but we most certainly have been at it for that long. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here, and we'll pick things up tomorrow. Tomorrow we might do one more day on the warrior, and then we'll think about jumping back over to the Pally. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out today. It's been fun. I'm glad you guys are liking the warrior, because obviously I'm liking the warrior a lot as well. So yeah, more fun times ahead. Thanks again, and as always, take care of yourselves out there in the real world, and take care of each other. And we will see you back here again sometime very soon. Bye for now.